Bastards, my camera's acting stupid. Let me fix it. I don't know what it is. Give me a second. Wow, that's weird. When does that ever happen? What the fuck? What the hell was that? Well, bastards, I have no wine here at all. I have a big giant Evian and a little bit of Diet Coke. I changed the light bulb, and I think I pulled the wire out on my camera. Welcome to Fridays. It's Classic Bashers. Let me turn down the volume in the studio set. How are you, bastards, tonight? Tonight's going to be Friday Night Madness with Sheen O'Malley. He will be here as soon as he wraps up Who Needs a Drink. I took a little nap because I had a long day again. More crazy stuff. Let's see who's in the room, and let's talk about Dean. Dean, the dancing machine, just got a watch. Also, I want to make an announcement because you guys all know that Angelo Minichello got a brand new watch. He was going to unbox it live on the channel. I now know what it is, and oh, wow. I don't think a lot of people even know what these are. They're very, 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 very interesting, unique watches. Comes in a gigantic box. And I saw the pictures. They're great. But of course, Friday night is not really the best night for let's sit around and look at the Bastards gallery. I often don't even get to it all because, we start drinking and bullshitting and all the stuff we do on Fridays. It's crazy. So what we'll do is I sent an email off to Angelo Minichello that what we will be doing is Sunday, if it's fine with him. When he gets back to me, I have the pictures. I don't have any video, but it's a showstopper. Then there's Dean the dancing machine, who just got a brand new watch, and he sent me the box, and it said Clue, which showed me what brand it was, which makes me very excited. So I don't know if you want to show that off, or if you want to. What do you want to do, kid? You let me know. So let's see. Andrew Olkowicz starts out the show. Canadian $5. Work until 5. Should be home before 6. Looking forward to grabbing iBashers live. Everyone should upvote and subscribe for more. Yes, Andrew Olkowicz. Let's hit that up with one of the latest, one of the greatest, the cowbell. Everybody needs more cowbell. Thank you so much for that, Andrew Wolkowicz. Dean's purchased this new watch. As he says, no, it's not a Rolex. I know it's not a Rolex because you showed me the box. Crazy. Fahrenheit 451. It's Dave, upvoted number 6. Nick Sisto in the room. Good evening, all. Good evening, Nick Sisto. Very excited to find out about this and see what's going on there. Nick wants to know, is it new or vintage? I think by the box, it looks like it might be vintage. Vintage in a box. I'm all ears, kiddos. There's Al Benedetti. Good evening, everyone. Looking forward to Good Bash. Time for a good bash, kiddo. Andrew's here. Hey, he made it from the work, the shackles of his job. It's great to see you, Andrew. You're the first in the line, as you always are, my dearest. Ray from the west of Ireland. There he is. Melly C is here. Good day, Dirk and all the bashers. Good day, Melly C. I had this on all day. All day. I wear it so much. I love you. Thank you so much. I put on the Speedmaster tonight because it's been getting no love whatsoever at all. He says, red room, because I had no camera. Crazy. Dirk Stein Enterprises is now experiencing technical difficulties. We'll be right. Dirk Stein Enterprises is now experiencing technical difficulties. We'll be right back. Scott Wexland's in the room. Hey, man, hope I'm well. I am. I hope you're well. I just had a giant espresso because I took a little nappy poo because I needed it desperately, desperately. Al's heading to Vancouver on Sunday for work. Never been. I haven't either. Any suggestions, everyone? All I know about Vancouver is in the 80s, everybody made their records there. Little Mountain Sound, a very popular place. It's where Bob Rock and Bruce Fairbairn produced all those Bon Jovi records and Motley Crue records and Metallica records, all those big rock records, those Bob Rock records. They were huge, and they all went to strip clubs because apparently that's crazy. Dave says, isn't that water in a plastic bottle? I did not purchase it. I will say that. I found it in the refrigerator. And yes, it is a plastic bottle. I didn't buy it. Just so I wouldn't buy a plastic bottle. I wouldn't do it. Got my Diet Coke from a can in a glass. Justin Goodfun. Cheers. Jade's here. Hey, Jade, with a slay her. Hey, Camilo Fernandez. Show us the Oshin bass. There it is. This is Oshin's 1973 Rickenbacker 4001 with the toaster pickups on it. Amazing, right? Out of tune, but beautiful. Hidden behind the wall of green, the green screen, where all the guitars are. They're all of my guitars are in a case back there. Now, you know, I pulled the curtain back. That's the Oshin bass. There you go. You ask, you get it. Ray says, now that's a showbiz entrance. How are you? Alain Gilbert's here. Alain Gilbert. Hello, guys and gals. Alain Gilbert's got that beautiful wrist shot where he looks like a hand model. Gotta say, man. Listen, I'm in that business. I see a lot of wrists. Gotta say, you might have the best looking one I've ever seen. It's very attractive. You could be a hand model. What's the name of that? Flight of the Conchords. You guys remember that? You could be part-time model. I saw them live in Forest Hills at the tennis stadium, and they were fucking amazing. It was a great night. There's Angelo Minichello. Did you hear what I said earlier? You did, right? Did you hear what I said? I haven't gotten to all the chats yet. I got the pictures. I know what we're talking about. I think we should do it on Sunday so I can have a good chunk of time since this is Friday madness. And Oshin shows up and drinking begins, and then it just gets blah, 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 crazy. Awesome Powen is here too. Hi all. Tobster McDonkey. Check out the new Tudor Pelagos FXD Cycling Edition turkey. It's cool. Only 77 grams. That's very, very light. You know, it's really funny. Now that I fixed up all my bikes and I you know, I don't have an Apple Watch. I don't have a smartwatch. I was thinking about G-shocking that shit when I'm out. Because, you know, listen, I ride like a lunatic and I do off-road stuff. So if I have a crash, I certainly don't want to have any of my other ditties on my wrist. So I'm thinking that the G-Shock's the way to go for that. But I will pull that up in a second. Let me get to the rest of these. Caloy's here. Hey, happy Friday, Father Dirk. That's on Sunday only. Yeah. Camilo Fernandez says, what a bass. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm sure he misses it greatly, but I certainly like having it in the house because nothing sounds like a Rick. It's my favorite bass in the whole wide world, I gotta say. And I don't really have a great bass. I have a lot of guitars. I mean, once he takes that back, which I'm sure he will at some point, I'm gonna be screwed, and I'm gonna have to get a Rick because I can't imagine not having one in the house because there's a certain Rick sound, you know. It's the sound. It's a sound, and I like Fenders too. I like a lot of different basses. I don't know. We'll see what happens down the line. I mean, I just use it to write. When I want bass, I use a really good bass player who's not me. Ray, you're such a rich wrist itch. Hey, you know, man, I'm calling out an attractive wrist for what it is. You know, you got to be honest. Sometimes somebody just has, you know, some wrists look better than others. You know what it is on that picture? It was just such a beautifully shot photograph. You know, he had a very masculine wrist. The watch was beautiful. The shot was beautiful. It was really great. So I got to say, Topester couldn't tell if it was going to be the limited. Okay, you guys talking amongst yourselves. I'll do that. Dean, £1.99. Here's a clue. Loom. Oh, I know now. I'll keep my mouth shut and I'll give you a. We're gonna loom. We're gonna loom. Come on, give us a. Anybody remember that show, Zoom? I think it was international because it was like Idol or The Voice. I think they had iterations in all the different countries and territories. The G-Shock would be perfect for roughhousing. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think. Dr. Bob's Nightmares here. Hey, I started a second stream. I did? What does that mean? How did I start a second stream? What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. Camilo Fernandez. I find it funny how both hobbies, guitars, watches, goes well together. I agree. We certainly share that. Oh, tell us more, Camilo Fernandez. Both super expensive hobbies can be. I'll tell you what I did once, and I'll admit to it. I bought a Chibson years ago, and I never use it. Dean Pan. Al Benedetti with $1.99 US upvote. It's still free. Let's see one of the new ones. Let's go Gong Woman 2, my favorite Gong Woman. I love Gong Woman 2. I think she's exceptional. Dr. Rob Snyder says, kids in red and blue striped shirts sitting around saying, let's rap. What does that mean? Aren't you streaming earlier today? No, Oshin is on. Oshin is on Who Needs a Drink. That's not my show. That's his show. Zoom, 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 zoom. Easy is here. Feel like I am shopping at Stu Leonard's. I like how you said Leonard's with all the cowbells. Stu Leonard's. My mom wouldn't let me watch Zoom, bless her. Why wouldn't she let you watch Zoom? I watched The Electric Company, yeah. And of course, Sesame Street, and I watched... I mean, that was my era, the 70s. I wasn't. My older brother and sister watched Captain Kangaroo, and that's all I watched. So did you send me anything new? Okay, let me see what's going on here. Okay. Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. Since he's probably having a UN conversation over there, and he usually doesn't wrap up for a while. I don't have that many pictures, obviously, because we don't do pictures, the Bastards Gallery, really on Friday night. But what I will do is let's start with, let me just pull a couple up, and then we'll talk about that in a second. I'm not going to pull up Angelo's because I want to dedicate something crazy to that. Right? This is fantastic. This is Richard Petrie with the Seiko. Amazing. Looking great at the steering wheel. Fantastic. Oh, there's another one. Oh, hey, look at the Seiko with the kinetic movement. And he says that he heard that was discontinued. I heard the same thing too. I should Google that to make sure it's true. Everybody doesn't keep up on Seiko. Very explorer-like thing with a date. I love this watch. I love it. Looks great. I like your speakers. Are those KRKs? What are they? Oh, you sent me more photos. Show them next week between me and you. Gotcha, Dean. I'll do that. Thank you so much for those pictures. That's cool. All right, so you sent me more pictures. I didn't get them in my thing yet. Dean, do you want me to show? Do you want me to show the teaser box? You let me know in the chat, and if you want, I'll pull it up. I think everybody get excited, right? Right. That's Dean with £4.99. Dean, Dirk, I sent you some more photos. Yeah, okay. So what do you think? You tell me whether or not you want me to do that or not. Let's do Gong Woman 4. Gone Woman Force. Fantastic. Oh, okay, go for it. Great. Okay, so here it is, right, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Dean was talking about. The box looks vintage. He gave us a clue, but there it is. Okay, that is what he's talking about. And that's a very big box. The big giant box is very telling. I think the soiling of the box is very telling. Most of you know he said loom, loom, loom. I think you guys will have a clue. That is all you're going to get for the moment. And thank him, everybody. That's his teaser. I'm very excited. Very excited. Jim Lassick starting his weekend out. Hey, Jimmy, how are you? Obviously, he's out riding. He's having some food and wine. Look at that. Looks like a sunny day. Look at the size of the forearms on that beast. Holy mackerel. That's why big watches look great on this stud of a man. Thank you so much, Jim. Always great to have you in the room. If you want to send a couple of pictures over before Sheen shows, because, we'll just shoot the shit unless you guys have something to say. It's better to burn out than to fade away. Dr. Bob's Nightmare says, my screen just says you started the stream 13 minutes ago, and I swear I was here earlier and upvoted. Well, you might have upvoted before I started because I started at exactly 5:01, which is 16 minutes ago. It's possible. It's possible. Andrew says, you're a tease, Dean. You're a tease. Angela says, looks cool. And Angela's got something in a bigger box. It's a bigger box. It's the biggest box I've ever seen. I actually thought it was furniture. It's so big. That's a clue, too. Dr. Bob, JBB says, Dr. Bob's Nightmare, the time you spent with Tim Wright in San Francisco yesterday has warped your brain. Tim can do that to people. I watched, I was in and out of that. I mean, he went to some really cool spots. I love San Francisco. It's I did a lot of work there back in the 90s. I got hired to be a studio singer for this project that turned into like demos for a band called Neil Sean, Jonathan Cain, what the hell was the name of that band? They had a #1 hit on their first album. I did the demos for the second record. John Waite, a singer I absolutely love. He wasn't very nice to me, which was disappointing because I was a John Waite fan in the height of pop metal and all that stuff. And he was in a band called the Babies, and he wrote 2 songs. He didn't actually write them. He had 2 songs, Isn't It Time? Which is one of the, if you've never heard Isn't It Time by the Babies, you should listen to it right now. It's so unbelievable. He's the missing you guy, I ain't missing you. I ain't missing you. He's that guy. But he had 2 songs. So Back on My Feet Again, and Isn't It Time? And what's the other one? What's the other Baby song? I always forget the other title, but it's the second best song. Best song is Isn't It Time? Back on My Feet Again is the third best song they have. Anyway, I was out in San Francisco for like 6-7 times for a couple of weeks at a time, and it was really fun. I got to explore the city by myself. It's you travel totally differently when you're by yourself. Because when you're with somebody, someone you love or your family or whatever, you tend to collectively choose destinations, restaurants, etc. When you're on your own, you just kind of wander, which is what I did. And they put me up in this place in Berkeley for a long time. And then I was in a place called Walnut Creek, which was kind of out, but there was a BART train system. So I was able to get in and out of San Francisco. But I had a really good time there. I really did. Not that kind of good time. I just had a good time. I was already, wasn't I? Yes, I totally was. I was like already married. You're back on the wagon, Every once in a while, that's a good idea. Ray Ray says, James, the Respect brother. Dean, that was a Highlander jerk. What does that mean, a Highlander jerk? Oh, that was. It's better to burn out than to fade away, Kurgan. Happy Halloween, ladies. I mean, once Sheen's on the show, it could be movie quotes. But I was talking to Carolyn Martin earlier, and we both love Arthur, the movie Arthur, and she didn't know I knew like every quote from that movie. Of course, Sheen does too, but he's the king of of movie quotes. He really is. Just not before 1965. Vaughn. Good evening, Bashtards. Vaughn. I want to tell you what happened, Vaughn, last night. I'm sure you didn't notice it at all, and I'm glad that you didn't. But technically, you got blocked for a minute because there was an asshole on my stream, and his name was right next to you, and I went to go block him, and just as I'm hitting block, the chat moved. And so I went, oh my God, and I don't have the ability, so I had to call Sheen and say, oh my God, I just blocked Vaughn. He's freaking wonderful. Oh, no, what am I going to do? He fixed it right away, and I'm glad you didn't notice it, and I apologize if you did, and I hope you didn't. But it was because some guy wrote something really stupid, which is ridiculous, it's troll. And just as I'm clicking delete user, it went up a notch, and you got nailed. So Love you. Didn't mean it. Ray says the Beatles. The Beatles. There's the Beatles and everybody else, as far as I'm concerned. Um, Dr. Bob's Nightmare, Ringo, George. I like it. This is the first time I ever saw anybody put the Beatles in that order. It's usually John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Almost always, right? Always John, Paul, George, and Ringo. You went Ringo, George, John, Paul. Is that how you're ranking the Beatles? Ringo, George, John, and Paul. I mean, is there subcontext to that? Dr. Bob, I'm a little. I mean, you can't put Paul McCartney last, can you? I don't. When people say John or Paul, I always say both. However, I'm Team Paul all the way because he's the more prolific writer, and he's not the angry young man with the poetic. Paul got the meat and potatoes done. Great bass player, great singer, great songwriter, as they both were. But I hope that's not true. I would be like crazy. But I love Ringo, and I hate when people say bad things about Ringo Starr. He's a genius. I saw him a couple of years ago live in Brooklyn. It was amazing. His all-star band, absolutely incredible. I loved it. Camila Fernandez says, what do you think about music? Education? I think everyone should do it. I didn't do nearly enough of it. I went to school for singing, sight sang for quite a long time, then use it or lose it. I think everybody should. I think it's great. I think it's great to know what all your choices are. I think it's great to, I mean, listen, in the rock and roll world, I would say 90% of people can't read or write music. And there's no need to really. But then if you want to, then oftentimes like, I'm going to write my overture, I'm going to write my opera, I'm going to write my ballet. Once you become somebody who's been sick of rock and roll and you become successful and you get a bag of money, tends like here's a perfect example. Elvis Costello, when he decided to write some classical music, he went back to school to learn everything he could about music theory because he was about to work with Burt Bacharach. And he did not want to work with Burt Bacharach unless he felt like they could speak the same language. I think the same is true for Paul when he did a classical movie. I think it was called Standing Stone. You want a better grip on the availability. You know what it is? Because if you just know all the chords, you could just play G, A, G, D, F minor, blah, blah, blah. You know those things, right? You know those combinations. If you know a little bit more about music, you'll know, this scale, Phrygian scale, Aeolian scale, diminished minor scale, all that stuff. You learn all that stuff, and that's great too. But once you know notation and all that stuff, I mean, it becomes a bigger palette for you. And to be fair, maybe it's limiting because classical musicians don't write shit. And if you took the first chair violin or trumpet or any of those people and you said, okay, now improvise, they would just stare at you like this because they're so used to just reading and playing what's on the page. So maybe it's limiting. I don't know. What a great question. Amazing. Thank you. Angelo Minichello. Dirk, Sunday's great for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to preach to you here. Sunday Bass. Angelo Minichello is going to unbox his very unique timepiece. It's something you've never seen on the show before. Actually, I've never seen it on anybody's show. I don't think. And I don't really watch anybody else's show now because everybody's just being a dick. Stop it, people. Just be nice. Be nice to people. It's better to have friends than no friends. That's what I say. Let's go $10. Let's see. We want to go for one of the new ones. Angelo Minichello. Let's do Gong Woman. Gong Woman. Gong Woman 3. Gong Woman 3, yeah, yeah. Take about life, take about hate, take about life. Angelo Minichello. I only had one cup of coffee, I swear to God, and none of this shit. Because you know what? I think it gave me high blood pressure. My blood pressure is usually like 94/62. And I felt really weird today. I was under a lot of stress with my neighbor, trying to there was a lot of weird stuff today, and it was early, and I felt weird today. So I take my neighbor's blood pressure all the time. she's an elderly woman, and that's just part of my duties. I take care of her stuff. Thank you, Angelo. And I took my blood pressure, and it was 140 over 105. And then I was like, that's weird. Then I tried it on the other arm, and it was the same. And then I took a nap, and I woke up, and it was 100 over 60. So I don't know. Maybe I was just stressed out of my mind. Be careful, kids out there. Be careful. As Roar the Tiger told us last week, stay. And I am super guilty of this. I have not had a checkup in a decade because I don't know. I'm just not paying attention. Be aware of what your body's telling you. As he lost his daughter last week, one of our beautiful Bashtardos. He told us, and get an EKG, check out your heart health, check your blood pressure. We love you guys. We want to keep you around. Vaughn says, I feel unblocked. You are loved and unblocked, my dear friend. Dave, Fahrenheit 451, the same excuse I use when porn sites pop up. I clicked it by accident. Oh my God, that's fucking priceless, dude. So Dr. Bob's Nightmares, that's the way he ranks the Beatles. I don't know how anybody could rank Paul last, but hey man, whatever floats your boat. The Beatles are past, the new universe is, oh God. I don't get it all. Look, Carre says Yoko, George, Ringo, Paul, John. Do you know, I use that as an adjective. She's just, when I was watching Get Back, every time she showed up on the screen, my blood would boil, because it was like, we had a rule in my band: no girls, no beer, no girlfriends, because it would ruin the flow of the night. And, oh my God, I love that tune. Oh my God, thank God there were no cell phones then. Imagine if there were cell phones. Wow, that would be sucky. Ray says, if you're a drummer, you'd say Ringo, a guitarist Paul, John a singer. No, Paul's a much better singer than John. John is just a unique guy. Paul's got one of the craziest ranges in all that's ever been in rock. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, John would have told you that. John just had that certain je ne sais quoi, that tortured artist, poet. He had that, Kerouac-y, Hemingway thing about him, which Paul didn't. Paul, tended to just be prolific and keep throwing shit at the wall, amazing shit, and some not. My least favorite Beatles album is the White Album, because it's self-indulgent, and I could see that it's a band firing on 2 cylinders. There's a lot of garbage on that record. I know people love that record, mostly the John people, because John got to just, wank himself off, and Yoko was like, you're a god, you're a total god, John, you don't need those people. It's just a little self-indulgent for me. And then they went and they made 2 of arguably the best records they ever made. So, and I don't get Taylor Swift. I mean, listen, I've been through that thing. If that's all we've got right now, we're doomed. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. Bachelorette is the best. Why do birds? Oh yeah. Why do birds suddenly appear? I took a nap, so my voice is not warmed up. That's one of the most amazing songs ever in history. Burt Bacharach and Hal David. Genius. Hypertension. I don't have hypertension. I don't, believe me. Yeah, I'll take my blood pressure live on the screen. It's caffeine. I know. But you know what I did? I had two double shots of espresso early this morning. And then when I was sitting having breakfast with Rose, because her lawyer was there, and I made him a French press. French press can be disastrous. I made a Kimbo French press, and I drank a big cup of it. So that's probably what it was. That's why Dirk has never tried cocaine, because why would he do that? Andrew says, at this point, should Get Off My Cloud become Get Off My Lawn? What do you guys think about Mick Jagger's? What is he, 82 on stage? Looks great. Sounds great, right? What are you going to do? EKG and an echo are good. Yeah, I know. That's true. We'll talk about that, won't we? Dirk, send photos to you. Do you want me to? No, you don't want me. You want me to save them, right? I'm going to save them. We'll do it Sunday, Dean. Let's do. I will title Sunday's unboxing. Bashtards unboxing mass. Unboxing mass. There you go. Yoko is the goat. You ever hear that song called Walking on Thin Ice? She goes, I once knew a girl. She tried to walk across a lake. I wonder if she knew about it. Yeah. Interesting BP. But yeah, I know. BP blood pressure. Angela says, back in 2007, I hit 160 to 180 for 1 week straight stress test. Yeah, I guess, right? I take my blood pressure all the time because I'm weird like that. And it's usually about anywhere from 105 to 115 over 68, 70 usually. I just think I had a very stressful day. I'll be watching just to make sure it's not something crazy town, you know. Easy says, imagine E now with a cell phone. Good luck trying to recall these three. Nah, I remember all the people's phone numbers who I need to remember. Jerk, been watching the channel too long. I have to put tape on the clasp to stop the scratches. Oh, right. Because look, because I've been wearing my watch on my left hand so I don't bang it, but I put it on the right. Oisin, ladies and gentlemen, Oisin O'Malley.
Hey man, I'll quickly run to the restroom because I've been sitting in the same place for 2.5 hours. I need to pee. So
I'm going to show off. He made fun of me in my tape, so I'm just going to show because I'm wearing a Speedy tonight. I'm just going to show you guys what the clasp looks like on my Speedy. Okay, so look.
Because it's got tape all over it?
No, it doesn't have tape on it.
The Speedy is all scratched to shit.
It's all scratched.
But that adds character.
No, I know it does. But once that happens to Millie, I'll be like, oh my God, what did I do to you? I'm not going to do it.
I'll be back in 1 second.
Go knock your bladder out there, kiddo. Sorry, beats per minute. Oh, is that right? That's tachycardia. Oh, that's scary. I think you might need to have an herbal tea to calm your blood pressure. That's why I'm drinking all this water right now. And apologize for the big giant plastic bottle. Like I said, I did not purchase it myself, but I mean, I couldn't pass up a ice cold. And look, you want to see how icy it is? It's completely, it's fully full of ice. It was in the back of the fridge. I was like, wow, I really like Evian. I think it's the best bottled water there is. I like it. I know everybody's going to say my country has the best. People are funny about their water, right? Daniel Gutierrez is here. Daniel is trying tonight on the bash. I can see his speedy loom. Dave says, on the bright side, high blood pressure is better than none. That's very true. Hey, Arya, how are you? How you look, Dirk? We're from Machines Channel having our souls ripped. Oh, did you? Yeah, I know you guys talk about heavy stuff. We don't do that here, but that's cool. Good evening, Dirk and Oisin. Blue Copper Coffee. Good to see you. And Sydney Watch fan. So Dean the Dancing Machine. What exactly we're going to be doing is, let me go see what this is. You know, we're doing the unboxing. Oh, look at the old box. That's exactly what I thought it was. Oh, man. I can't wait to show this on Sunday. Yeah, that's loom and a half, baby. Look at you on your beastie hairy wrist. Looking amazing, man. How exciting. I am not going to present it today. Evian is naive, spelled backwards. Draw your own conclusions. How interesting. I never, ever, ever thought of that. Easy says, I found double chamomile tea bags and a few deep breaths bring any high blood pressure anxiety episode down right away. Is that true? Wow. That's really interesting. I mean, I've never had high blood pressure in my life, so that was like a little weird. So I don't know. You ever have high blood pressure, Shane? Do you ever take your blood pressure and it was high?
No, I have good blood pressure. Last time I was in the hospital, was it 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, whenever it was? My blood work came out great, you know, and the whole thing was fine. They couldn't figure out. I think I had a bile duct issue. I think it was all those spritz select. They were just irritating something. But yeah, they tested blood. They did all sorts of tests, and they're like, "Yeah, you're pretty fucking healthy." I'm like, "Well, that's bad news," because I thought,
because what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I thought I was slowly killing myself, you know. But it turns out maybe not. What are you guys talking about over here?
Oh, nothing. I just was saying that I took a little nap before the show because I was running around with Rose this morning, and I just drank a lot of coffee, and I took her blood pressure, and then I said, I'm going to take mine, and it was high. It was like 147 over like 100. It was high, and my blood pressure is usually like 110 over 68. So then I took a nap and I woke up and it was normal. But anyway. Anyway, Ash Fishbowl's in the room. Evening Dirk in Houston, en route to New Zealand. Who are you flying? Are you flying Air New Zealand? Oh, I want pictures. Ash, could you send pictures? Because usually,
is that the name of their airline?
Yeah,
Air New Zealand. I didn't know. Sorry,
it's their planes are black. Have you
oh,
ever
it's
seen
the
their
All
planes?
Blacks because of the sports team. The
Yeah.
All Blacks. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have like A350s. Apparently, the A350 is a very exciting plane to fly on. It's supposed to be
I
so
love the
quiet.
Kiwis when they do that. Sorry,
No.
I love when the Kiwis do that whole thing that they do, and like before the matches and so on. And they even do it in Congress over there. They do the whole traditional chant, and it looks aggressive. They look like they're about to attack you, but they're not.
They're not. Yeah, it's very, very cool.
Yeah, they're very, very nice, sweet people. Yeah.
Easy E with a $20 super chat towards Durkee's first official channel unboxing. We're going to be doing on Sunday Mass. Angelo, Minichello, and Dean both bought new watches. And I'm like, Friday's the shitty day to do it because we're just drinking and talking and digressing and being stupid. So I'm gonna unbox those on Sunday. I just got a glimpse at what they are, and exciting. Wow. Exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. Do you know what show that is?
No.
The Love Boat.
The Love Boat. I was about to guess. I swear. I was about to guess it.
Promising something for everyone. And you know who sang that? Jack Jones. No How did they get him to do that? That's crazy. I got to give you a big bang. You want one of the new bangs? $20. Let's go with Gong Woman 4. I find myself mesmerized by her.
Isn't it amazing? I love the one where she's just
trance.
She's just standing there and all her gongs are ringing and she's just observing them. She's the Gong Woman.
That's Gong Woman 3, and that's available for purchase.
At a local store near you.
At a local store near you. Take Visa, MasterCard, or what's that weird card that you see? JCB. Is that a Japanese business card? I always think it means that. But whenever you see, like in international places, you see Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and they see this card called a JCB card. I don't even know what the hell that is. You ever see it? It's red, green, and blue.
JCB to me, growing up, was the label on the side of these big machines that would like cut into the earth and stuff. The JCBs, they were like the big. Yeah, they make those bulldozers and big machines to dig into the earth. The JCBs.
Googling it to see if I'm wrong. Image is it JB? It's JBC, right? J. Once I show you the logo, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, you're gonna totally know what this is. Ready for this? Here it is. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, fuck, I don't know what that was.
No, I've never seen that before.
You've never seen this?
Look up JCB machine or JCB bulldozer, and then you'll see what I thought of when you said JCB. It's a big yellow thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a JCB.
This is like when you can't.
That's one buried. Yeah, it's one buried in the water, but that's a JCB.
Oh, I gotta ask.
We'd actually refer to that machine as a JCB. I know JCB is the brand, but
right,
we'd actually say, "Oh, there was a big JCB down the street. What's it doing?"
Oh, look at you, like Hoover.
Like Hoover, yeah.
Yeah, I always loved how
or Scotch tape, right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
isn't Scotch tape a brand of?
It is.
Of
it's
tape?
made by 3M, and it's called Scotch tape.
Right.
But we just call it. What other products do we do that with?
And in Italian they call it Scotch, lo Scotch.
Yeah, I know that. Paul always says that, lo Scotch, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Wow. Now on Blu-ray, Gong Woman 3. Hey, Roar the Tiger's here. I just mentioned you on the show because I was talking about my blood pressure and his daughter, and just, of course, reiterating how we're all talking about you and feeling for you. Asheen, I'm starting to feel insecure. I wanted John to comment on the May 68 student occupation of Hamilton Hall in Columbia. I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah,
That's
Hamilton Hall is very famous in 1968, and they just recreated it, and they called it Han Hall. They renamed it after that little girl who was her. She was sitting in a car with her. Oh, it's very macabre. Sorry, I don't want to bring the mood down, but yeah, they renamed Hamilton Hall to a new thing, and they occupied it. And the cops went in and arrested them all.
yay.
Yay!
Easy says, how about having a black card? I know somebody who has a black card, and he told me how he got it. And he told me that he spent $3 million a year with American Express forever, and then it just showed up at his door.
The only black card I ever saw, myself and Colin were at a meal in New York City before an artist, a singer-songwriter, I can't remember her name, Chelsea something. No, anyway, I can't remember. And it was behind the Bowery Ballroom, and we were all there. We were invited, and that was the first time we met Steve Lyon, who I ended up working with a ton. He produced The Cure and Depeche Mode, and he did Susan Vega. He even worked with McCartney for a track or two. Anyway, we met him that night because we were at the same table, and at the adjacent table was Jay-Z. And it was before Jay-Z was really, it was before he was super, super famous. And he paid for everyone's meal in the entire restaurant because we were all guests at the show. And he pulled out a black card. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's fancy town.
And Hemingway slapped me in the mouth.
Ash Fishbowl says JCB Heavy Equipment Company is owned by George Bamford's family. That's Anthony Bamford, right? He's a billionaire.
That's the Bamfords.
Yeah, the Bamfords. Oh shit. He's a watch guy, George Bamford.
Bamford is a big watch guy. He was part of Adrian Barker's Three Guys, whatever they were called.
Oh, was he?
About Effing Time. And I have a theory why that dissolved, because the Bamfords are major investments over in the Holy Land, and the JCBs and all the bulldozers, they're all part of the Canary Project, and they're all owned by the Bamford family. And I know for a fact that Adrian Barker is pro-Palestine. And
what's the Canary Project?
The Canary, look it up, man. It's
okay.
Deep and rich information. Anyway, that was my theory about why they came to an end, that they had some sort of spat behind the scenes. Because as we all know, if there's one subject that will break friendships up, it's that. Are you drinking wine?
No, not yet. I'll start in the second hour.
Start?
Do you want me to start?
Hour?
Okay.
Yeah, just all right. Go slow. Don't chug it like you do fucking espressos.
Meet us, Rashid, 5 pounds. Asheen, convinced me to purchase an Explorer 2, 16570. Hey! Yeah, any tips on what to look out for when purchasing? He's a super chat. I'm going to go get a bottle of wine. I'll be right back, kids.
Midas, Rashid, what a great name you have.
It's amazing.
What's to look out for?
Name.
So the Explorer 2 comes in a few different iterations. You have Holes case and non-Holes case. You have, I believe, the V serial number ones that have the RRR Rolex Repeat Rehot. And some of them have a different movement. Oh, can anybody remind me which movement they have? Because there's a quick set date movement and a non-quick set, I believe. There's 2 different movements that come in them. So you want the most modern one you can find. You want like a 2010, if you can find it. That's the one I would go for. The 3185, thank you, Easy E. 3186 is newer. See, Easy E did it. That's exactly what I was trying to remember. 3 years ago, I would have easily answered that, but I just haven't paid attention to that model in so long. 3185 is the previous movement. The 3186, I believe, is the same or similar than I have in the 42 mil version. That's the better one. That's the one you want. If you like Holes case, some people like the charm of a Holes case, then you want to go for the older one. The no Holes case ones were the final years of them. I personally like a no Holes case. I have a Holes case in my gold sub, but fuck it, look out for that stuff. So John said, see, we have all the experts. John is a legend, and thanks for coming on my show, man. It was great conversation. You guys are great. Yourself and Blakely are fantastic. 3186 started around 2008. There you go. So you want a 2008 to 20 whatever 12 or whenever they change things over. That's the one I would go for if I were you. However, if you're offered some beautiful old one with patina and it has a vintage charm, maybe that's your thing. Failing that, you want to go for that one. Easy E, I wear a 40 mil, also opposed to the newer iterations, 42 mil, both gorgeous. Also as opposed to the newer iterations. So, yeah, look, I have to wear this because it's because I'm a big oaf. That's why, because the older one is just going to look too small on me. So, but it's essentially the same look, and they're both classic, cool Rolex. Unadulterated, cool Rolex. There's no bling. There's no two-tone version of this watch. There's no diamond dial version of this watch. This is classic raw steel Rolex, the way we purists love it. 132 watching and only 45 upvotes. Very good point, Dave. And everybody upvote, please. Also, why did only 100 people come over this time? I'll never figure it out. I don't know why. Sometimes 200 come over, sometimes 100 comes over. I don't know if it's this subject, the topic at hand. Is it a ratio to the amount of people who are already in the room? I don't think so, because I've Dirk has had 20 people watching, and then I'll come over and 200, 250 come over. I'll never understand. I've Googled this shit out of it, and I've been trying to get the answers, but I don't know. Tonight's crowd over my channel was a little weaker than normal. It was about 800 or 900 from most of the show. It was a little higher than that earlier, because I think they were hoping I was going to go to war with Paul Thorpe or something like that live. I just was not interested in talking about that with, and this bullshit, cheap ass smearing last week. So, and we have more important things to talk about. We talked about very important things tonight. I think the conversation was fucking great, and I had wonderful guests, and I thank them both. Jay Kingsley, it's because YouTube's the devil. No, I don't know what I'm sure there's some mathematics to it. I've just been trying to figure it out now for about a year. Out of 800, only 100 come over. You see, right? It's so weird. Maybe some of them aren't interested, and that's fine. I'm keeping that in mind. I'm taking that into account. I don't get it, but anyway, I mean, I've had 2,000 in the room, 2,100 in the room, and only 200 or 180 come over. It's been, and I'm not talking about bots. When you see the bots, like people who try to cover my real numbers and they buy bots, then it goes up to like 4,000 or 6,000. I know there's not fucking 4,000 people watching. I know that. So I have no illusions. But still, even taking into account all of those things, it doesn't make mathematical sense. But anyway, Travis, good debate on who needs a drink. Thank you, Travis. I'm glad. Listen, it's not easy. I'm taking an audience that maybe want to relax, and I'm giving them something heavy to think about. But last week it was just me chatting by myself, and next week it'll probably be the same. And maybe I'll tell you guys a funny story about some sexy girl with a short skirt I met on tour or something like that.
Sexy girls in short skirts.
Maybe I'll just do some of that lighthearted shit and win some of the audience back. But the way it is with me, I kind of don't care. I'd rather talk about the things I want to talk about. What is the bottle you're opening, Dirk?
It's a 2016 Medoc. It is Chateau Congrès.
Congrès.
Yeah, I've had this before. I had never seen it before.
2016.
Yeah,
2016 years in
that's
the bottle.
That's why I got it, because it's got a couple of years in the bottle.
Hey, Medoc is, it's fine if it has the years in the bottle. It's going to be fine. Yeah.
It's very loose.
It's too new. It won't be. I'm just having Barolo more More fucking Barolo. I have Barolo coming out of my
More
ass.
fucking Barolo. I'm opening the bottle, guys. Okay, here it comes. You want Crazy Dirk? Here he comes.
Here he goes.
This is what you wanted, right? There's gongs. Let's see. What do we have now? We've got, let's see. Let's look at the branding. We've got Gong Woman, So Lame, Drive Me to... We've got one that's called Stupid Fucking...
But that's for when you get exasperated by someone.
Yeah.
And you don't want to say it. You have Al Pacino say it in your place.
Okay. Which is great.
Real cork or synthetic? Well, in this Barolo,
this is totally
it looks
real.
synthetic. That's a real one.
Oh yeah, this is real.
Yeah.
This is totally real.
It looks all purple from here.
Very purple.
Yeah, very weird. That means it had contact with the wine a long time ago, and then it was sat on its hind legs since then. That's what that means. It hasn't been on its side in a long time.
Oh no.
Yeah. Nice.
So far.
Nice.
You put the camera down.
Oh, look at that. You have control over the camera. Didn't know that.
Well, minimally. Here's my glasses, my mouse, my... Look, you get to see another guitar that's not really in existence when I put the camera down. Because when it goes up, you do it. You get because my chair's in the way.
All right. Some old Gibson or something.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh. Ooh, it's perfumey.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing episodes about wine on the channel, explaining basic things.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, just start on the simple stuff like the difference between bouquet and aroma and things like that, and how to hold the glass. You know, whether to decant or not, things like that. You know. You're going all silent. You're loving that.
I'm just trying to decipher exactly what's going on here.
The Timeless Wine Channel, John.
The Timeless Wine Channel.
Hey,
That's
John, if you're
great.
still drinking and you want to come on, just text me. If you feel like having a chat, whatever.
I do not cut the capsule below the ridge. I know I don't. I'm very funny. I know
I pull the entire capsule off.
You
the
do,
whole
right?
capsule comes off. I cut it straight down.
I like it that way.
I stripped the whole thing off. Yeah.
No, I'm really funny about it. I like to do it right on the edge, and I like to just pair it.
Okay, I'll put a link, but you know, just for John. Okay, if he wants to come on, there's the link. You're not opposed to that, I assume, Dirk.
No.
Not that you would say live if you were. It's just because I know he's had a long week and he was enjoying the chat, and maybe he wants to shoot the shit about just normal shit.
Normal shit, yeah.
Yeah. There is the link right there in the chat, John. No one else try. No offense, guys, but you know, we need to know who's coming on before we let someone come on. I think he's having a Barolo or a Nebbiolo of some sort himself.
JC Kingsley gets get a Takamine or a Takamine. I never knew how to say that name. You know what's really funny about those guitars is they're Japanese guitars that every country artist plays. And what guitars are made in Nashville? Gibson. I always found that weird how so many country players play them. I've never played one.
Takamine or Takamine?
Yeah. I know John Bon Jovi plays one.
Nice guitars.
Are they very, very nice? I would
yeah.
take that over a Taylor any day of the week.
Yeah.
I played two Taylors. Actually, somebody gave me one years ago, and I gave it back. I was like, I don't love that. I don't love that. Oh, yeah, you wanted me to do that, right? Let me see if it works.
You can go for Gibson, get Gibson always, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that. You'll break the glass.
Why will I break the glass?
Because it'll if you get a tone going,
I usually
eventually
do.
from the friction,
Yeah.
eventually the tone will start going, and about 10 seconds into it, your entire glass will smash.
Really?
Yep. I have detailed files. I can see a lighter and it's way across the other side of the desk. You know what? I have to actually go get my steak and start salting it. So I'm going to do it right here on the channel because I have to prepare my steak that I took out of the fridge hours ago. So I'll be back in a sec. You talk to the folks and be careful if someone's coming in. John's avatar is black and white. He's
I saw it. I looked in when I was setting up my
okay.
show. I had a look.
Great.
I had a look.
So you know who you're bringing in. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me look at the chats and see what you're all up to because I went to go get wine. It's jammy and plummy with red berries. It's actually very, very, very perfumey. But it's going to open up because it's old. I mean, it's not that old it's 8 years old, which my favorite wine store wasn't open when I went to go get a bottle of wine. So, beggars can't be choosies. This was the best I could basically find. JC Kingsley says you can't go wrong with Gibson or Fender usually unless you're getting some kind of sad intro kit. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where my my Telecaster is. Oh, it's behind the wall. Yeah, I mean, I've got, 3 Gibsons, 3 Fenders. I have a Gretsch that I never play, but it's beautiful. I just don't. I know people love them. Gibson acoustics come out of Montana. Do they still come out of Montana? I didn't know whether or not they still made them there anymore. I mean, they used to come out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. That's where all Gibsons used to be made. I don't know about that.
Do you know where Rickenbackers used to be made?
I should know.
The Rickenbacker is sitting behind you.
I showed it to the crowd.
You know where it was made?
Brooklyn. I don't know.
Rickenbackers these days are made in California, but for the longest time they were made in a different state. Somebody knows it in the chat, I'm sure.
I should totally know that. Rickenbacker.
You should totally know that because you're like such an encyclopedia of this stuff.
Stump the Dirk. It's doable. Easy says Dirk bass hostage.
Yeah, he's holding my bass hostage. Oh, don't make me. Oh, cry. Hey, John.
Hey.
There it is.
Make me cry.
That's John.
That's my baby. Made the same month I was born.
Yeah.
Maybe the same day. Who knows? It's impossible to know. I love that.
This was made Illinois.
I couldn't tell if that was his real apartment or if that's a background.
It's a green
screen. Background.
It's a green screen.
Yeah.
Oh man,
he has a lot of guitars, but it's not.
I do have a lot of guitars.
It's not as neat as it looks.
He just
no. You know what? They're all
wall.
They're squished. I just broke the 4th wall. Ready?
That was crazy. Shit, that blew my mind.
My mind. Yeah, I have a couple of amps easy, but I don't use them. I plug straight into the old El Computero. Because that's what we do nowadays. Because what do you got to do? Then I can put on a set of headphones and I can blast it and no one can hear it. Like, what's the point? Are you about to eat something, Ashin?
Yeah, I'm gonna cook.
Are you gonna cook a steak? Are you gonna do it live on the show?
I mean, cooking it live, no, because I can't bring the camera over. I mean, I could do it from the phone, but
just eat it raw. You're one of those rare guys.
I'm a very rare guy, and it's practically raw when I eat it. But I'm gonna salt it. I got my rock salt. I'm never eating a steak because last week Emmett was on the thing, and he was like, "You got to salt that thing and leave it there for 45 minutes." And I'll never eat a steak any other way again. It's
the way to do it, man. I have one of those big green eggs. Mm-hmm. It's a grill, but it's basically a ceramic oven, and that thing gets up to about 800 degrees. And my God, that is the best way to cook a steak. But they say that if you pepper it, you have to pepper it after you cook it because when pepper heats up, it's almost like acidic. It becomes kind of bitter.
Yeah.
So
pepper goes after.
Never pepper a steak. Always salt it.
You people.
He doesn't want to hear it.
Really?
I'm a vegetarian
Jesus.
Oh,
For years and
okay.
years and years. He says,
since I was a child.
So you're both communists. Okay.
I mean, I don't eat my friends.
No,
I don't eat my friends.
I respect that from an ethical standpoint, but if a cow could eat you, it would.
A cow wouldn't eat me. A lion might eat me.
You know what would eat
Cow
you?
would not eat
A
me.
cat. Apparently, a cat will eat you if you die in your apartment.
Yeah, the dog won't, but the cat will.
The cat's like a matter of 48 hours before the cat just sees you as food,
Yeah.
which I completely believe because they're just that's the kind of creature.
Cats are unbelievable. They will start gnawing at your nose and eyeballs the minute you stop moving.
Yeah, I love cats.
Kind of scary. Yeah, I'm a cat person myself.
Yeah.
So, question, Asheen, where were they made? Oh, wait a second. Wait. Is it Bakersfield, California?
Now it is.
Oh, now it's Bakersfield.
I don't know if it's Bakersfield, but it's definitely California these days.
Because a light just went off in my head. And I'm not touching a keyboard or anything.
You would totally know if you knew.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I can say.
Are you going to tell us eventually?
Do you want me to tell you right now?
Yeah, I want you to tell me right now.
Hawaii. Rickenbacker were built in Hawaii.
I certainly did not know
that. Base behind you was built in Hawaii.
That was built in Hawaii?
Yep. Isn't that fucking nuts?
Did they get source their wood in Hawaii as well?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, there's all that amazing tropical wood, bamboo, and what is that made out of? That's some hard rock maple, right?
It's a good question.
Hard rock maple and ash, I think. 4001.
Ash.
It's 3 pieces,
ash
right?
Maple. Yeah, ash and maple.
Yeah. 3-piece body. We have, it's Luke Massid. Switched from the Tudor GMT to the Speedy since Dirk wearing, yeah, baby. Just cracked open a bottle of Côte de Rhone, smoking a Romeo and Julieta. Hey,
okay,
man,
he was on my chat earlier. He was having something else and he was saving his Côte de Rhone for this.
Man, sophisticated crowd here. Drinking
John, are you having a cocktail as well?
Yeah, I'm having a this is a let's see, where is this from? This is one of those organic no sulfites added type of wines. So
yeah, and you were making fun of me for being a vegetarian. Are you fucking serious?
I think that's the gayest thing I've ever said.
Orange wine.
Thing you've ever said.
Did your boyfriend buy that for you?
My fiance, how dare you? We've
that's
made it official.
Orange wine.
We've made it official, and my wife doesn't know yet. So,
that's great. You know, just tell me you're expressing yourself.
Let me ask you, John. Does somewhere on the label, maybe on the back, does it have a leaf, like a little picture of a leaf? Because all organic wines over here have a picture of a leaf.
So this actually has the picture of a donkey, and my wife and I call this donkey wine because
it's from Ireland.
No, but that's the main label you're talking about.
Yeah, no, this is actually an Italian Barbera.
Barbera.
Piemonte.
Piemonte, yeah. That's where from Barolo and Barbarescos are all from.
Yeah, so it's one of those no sulfites added, so you can pretty much drink half a bottle of this and not get a headache in the morning.
Half a bottle?
Well, if you're...
I drank a whole bottle last week because of this asshole.
3 bottles.
As a gay man, I only drink half a bottle.
You should be drinking flirtinis, sweetheart.
And a martini.
Honey, 2 flirtinis, Oscar. Thanks so much.
Hey, you know what? I will say this: a very good friend of mine, who happens to be gay, has told me one of the best compliments you can ever get as a straight man is if a gay man hits on you. Is that true?
Sure. It's happened all my life.
Is that a true statement?
Let's hear it, Dirk.
Is that supposed to... Wait a second. I didn't give hold on a second. You're jumping to the next super chat. I didn't reward Luke with one of our fabulous new cowbells. Ready, kids? I love that one. Now you can put up Tom Rogers. Tom Rogers is riding tonight. Tom Rogers, $5. I like this picture. Me and my monkey. You don't know that song, right, O'Shane? Because you hate this guy. It's a great fucking song. Me and my monkey. Whose song is that, guys? It's a great song.
It sounds like, I don't know, Jimmy Buffett or something.
I just want to creep inside her soul.
God, that lady is hypnotic.
Fuck, isn't she? Hell, right?
That's unbelievable.
She's new.
I'm still trying to figure out what that first super chat was, Oshin, where that guy referenced a movie, or was he pitching you a script? What was that with the overturned Jeep?
It felt like that. It was $50 as well, and I
Yeah.
don't know. I think he
$50.
was trying to quote a movie and see if I could get it, and I couldn't get it. I feel bad. It was $50 as well. I feel bad.
I'm not sure what he was referencing, but
what was the quote?
That stumped me.
It was like,
ask an old queen.
It was an opening scene of a movie, and he said a Jeep is overturned with the wheels spinning on the border of Texas and Oklahoma, with old style Chicago music playing in the background, and then a man wipes his face of tears with a closed fist. And we were both like, what the hell is this guy talking
quite
about?
Poetic.
It's it puts you in the moment.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He was trying to pitch me an idea for like a
movie or something, or a soundtrack or something. But we were trying to figure out what that was.
Lloyd and I knew what I was talking about. That's Paul's favorite. Where'd you go, Asheen? Your camera disappeared. Me and My Monkeys from Escapology, a great album by Robbie Williams. Did you pop off too, John? Are you there?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, that's weird. It happens. Easy E, $10. Cheers to you all. Great health. Enjoy life as well as you can. Thank you there, Easy E. Let's give you a second cowbell. Love that one. And we got Daniel Gutierrez in the room. Legends in the stream. That is what we are.
Too
Nowhere in between.
Look, I've got my
rosemary.
My Rosmarino. I'm gonna stick it on the steak now.
Let's give you I love Gong Woman, but 3 is my favorite, right? This is amazing, guys. She's creating a black hole.
God, even like a couple of seconds of that just puts you into a completely different mind state,
doesn't it?
So true.
She's summoning dark matter.
she's going to open up a void to a parallel universe.
That's exactly what she's doing. She's opening up like a rift in time. You know. JC Kingsley in the house. All right, super chat time. Everybody's going crazy. Everybody wants it. Check out the werewolf story interpretation of Africa by Toto. Really? Is that one of your least favorite Toto songs? I hate that song.
Oh my God, come on.
I like Hold the Line and Rosanna. That song, I don't know what it is about Africa. Something about it's clunky and weird. But
didn't Weezer redo that one?
Yeah, I think that they did.
I actually like that. I actually like theirs better. Is that weird to say?
Wow.
You want to hear a funny story about the guy from Weezer?
But I like Weezer.
So
I like Weezer.
That's Rivers Cuomo, right? So don't ask me how this happened. And this is a story that was relayed to be my friend Jim, who's been in my band for 30 fucking years. He's at the NAMM show, one of Asheen's favorite places to go in the whole wide world. So he's at the Music Expo out in Los Angeles, and you know, he's walking around, and Rivers Cuomo is walking in front of him, and Rivers Cuomo goes, "Jim Bakke, oh man, blah blah blah," and he starts talking to him, and Jim Bakke's looking at him, and there's like, how the fuck does Rivers Cuomo know who the fuck I am? And then he goes, "Oh, wait a second, you don't remember me? I'm Rivers Cuomo. I'm from." He goes, "Oh, I know who you are." He goes, "Dude, we used to hang out back in Connecticut in the 80s." He goes, "We did?" He goes, "Oh yeah, before I was in Weezer, I was in this band called Avant Garde that used to open up for your band Hitman like every other weekend." And it's true. They used to open up for us every other weekend up in Hartford, Connecticut. And he was a super great guy with like long hair, and they played, ready for this? They played prog. He was in a prog metal band, Rivers Cuomo.
I thought you meant Prague, the city.
Yeah.
No, they played prog metal.
Prague. Yeah.
Prague. Oh, Prague. Should I say progressive hard rock / metal?
Yeah, Mr. Tiffany and Company say progressive. Oh, I'm kidding. I kid.
Was that a quote from somewhere?
No, that's a quote from you.
What did I say?
Just giving you a hard time.
Oh, about Tiffany and Company as opposed to Co. Yeah, I just don't understand that whole thing.
Yeah.
I just
Tiffany.
Oh, we know. I'm just giving
yeah,
you.
yeah. Just giving me a little shtick for it. That's
Yeah,
okay.
that's all.
I gave everybody shtick the other night for the paddock thing, but it's always so fun because it's actually another word, and it's a funny other word, and it means something very funny. So you sound like a total idiot. It's a paddock. I think it's funny.
I will never unhear that after the Roman Sharp videos.
Oh God.
The paddock.
Paddock.
The paddock.
It's all the douche tards that say paddock.
By the way, that guy is totally Roman Sharp is totally buying subs because he's at like over 400,000 subs, and he just did a live earlier today, and it had 100 people watching.
Oof.
That means your subs are you don't have. He probably has like 80,000 subs.
In law enforcement, we call that a clue.
Yeah,
a clue.
Oh man,
that's a real clue, kiddo.
100. He should have. It's always a tiny, fraction of your actual audience, but it's not that small. You should have.
Well, you're up to like
2,000 people watching.
You're up to like 162 or something like that, Machine. Good for you, man.
Thank you, man.
You're getting up there.
It's going fine. It's going fine. For every one I lose, I gain 2. That seems to be the thing. I'd probably be well over 200 by now if I didn't piss people off so much. But
I think you're diversifying. That's good. And you're better off having a more refined audience.
The many faces of Oisin O'Malley.
Especially as the watch shit dries up and becomes more stale every day. It's like people are getting fucking bored of it now, and the market's getting a little.
But realistically, too, how many videos can you make about watches?
I know.
Especially, how many videos can you make about Rolex or Omegas or anything else? And your views are probably up when you even mention the word Rolex.
Yes.
But really, God, how many videos can you possibly make?
Yeah.
How many videos can you watch? I mean, as a consumer, I feel like you get tired of the same thing over and over again.
It's not like hot, busty broads, like something you'll watch time and time again. How many Rolex videos can you? I did it for the longest time, and then I just got tired of it. I want to watch some more interesting content.
Well, think of Davey 504. He plays the bass. He slaps the bass, right? And he just, at a certain point, he's been around now over 10 years. He's fucking huge, right? But at a certain point, he's just started getting funny. If you look at his early videos, it's just him in his bedroom playing bass. There's only so much bass he can play. But then he started getting funny. He just turns out he's a hilarious dude. And he started doing a kind of a comedy thing. And I'm convinced that like more than half of his audience don't give a shit about the bass playing. They come for the hilarious cuts and the comedy. That's got a much broader audience. Yeah. Look at Nico. Nico's essentially a comedy channel. Not really a watch channel. It's just about comedy. It's about the fat guy screaming at the lens. So yeah, it's a good idea to diversify. That's why I always believed in Brit Pierce, because she was so funny at the beginning. I was like, this has potential to be millions of viewers because people will just laugh their asses off at this girl. And then she got serious and very Jenny Ellish and turned it into, just pure watch content. It's like Watch Crunch or something like that.
It's funny you mentioned that because I actually watched a couple old Brits videos, and that was like the winning combination for me was always the underlying subject, and then the second layer is always something else. Whether it's humor or deprecating humor or some other offline thing. And with hers, it was always funny because it was watch content, but it was always mixed in with like funny cutaways, funny audio clips, her own little take on stuff. And it actually was pretty charming and
oh my God, yeah,
and interesting. And then the doom and gloom kind of turned me off, but that was the whole narrative during that time. The watch market is dead, and you can finally get Rolex at the AD. Which ones? Yeah, you can
ladies' day date.
Yeah, you can get a $30,000 gold sub. Sure,
sure. At the AD,
you're not walking out with a Pepsi.
By the way, Dirk, John sold his Pepsi just at the right moment.
Oh, good for you. Let it go. Yeah, you wanted that. You were lusting after your other dream. Let it go. That's great.
And it was a tough choice at one point, but
There's plenty of those new Pepsis in the world, kiddo. It's not a vintage,
Yeah,
If it was vintage, I'd say don't let it go, but
I think I'm naturally making the progression to the day date. I just got to get old enough. I've had
day dates are beautiful, man. They really are. It's just, I mean, they're associated with two of the douchiest fuckers in the history of the world, but one of the coolest guys too, Tony Soprano.
That's true too. Yeah, Oshin actually made me sad about having a GMT, and then I stopped traveling as much because that video kind of got me depressed. I'm like, oh shit! Every time I look at this thing, I think about all the time I spent away from home.
Yeah,
all the modifications I've had to make to that GMT hand, and then I stopped traveling. And honestly, that was the main catalyst for selling it, was because
you're not traveling.
I'm not traveling as much, and I'm not traveling as much outside of my time zone. So it wasn't really a necessity at that point. And then it felt more like I'm one of those guys that still the old tool watch thing where I want my watch to actually be useful, and I use it for day to day. So the more dressier and more upscale my style got, I thought, you know what, this Pepsi is a little too much color. It's a young man's watch, and it's a little bit too much for what
it's garish. It is garish. The new one is garish.
Yeah,
the old one is sex on a stick, man.
I actually prefer the Coke. Faded. Yeah, I prefer the Coke. I prefer the old Pepsis, and I actually prefer the new all black, the one they're calling the Bruce Wayne, the one that just came out.
Oh, is that what? I never heard that. Is it now Bruce Wayne? We have Batman. Now we have Bruce Wayne.
We have the Batman and the Bruce Wayne, but it's basically the Black Beauty reimagined. Really, that's all it is. It's the same, generally the same watch. So I'm a big fan of those, like, kind of under the radar, stealthier looking watches. That Pepsi was just too loud, and it got weird. Like, I would have people, at the airport, I could tell they're walking and they're staring at my wrist because they're like, holy shit, is that a Pepsi? And I'm just like, ugh, it's not really the attention that I wanted. And yeah, so it's a little.
So now you have the Wimbledon, the day.
I've got the Wimbledon, and it's actually, I've had multiple compliments from multiple people that have said that's a much better looking watch on you than the Pepsi, and even the Sub I think is a better looking watch on me. So
nice.
It's kind of what you said. You see the watch from your perspective, but other people see the watch from their perspective, and you have to take that into account. So. And it suits me better. I think it's a better watch. And if I ever decide to get a GMT again, we'll see.
What did you get in place of it?
I got the Wimbledon. The 41.
Oh yeah, you wanted that. That's great.
Yeah. And I've always, I grew up in the 80s, and to me, when I close my eyes and think Rolex, really, I either think of the Sub, the Datejust, or the Day Date. Those are the three watches that kind of come to mind, just based on the exposure that I had at the time. Because I think back to Harrison, all the
commercials.
Harrison Ford with his date,
his bookie dial.
Yeah, like that's the classic. That's that classic 80s, 90s, Rolex, and obviously the Sub is iconic. But the GMT was a nice. Like I said, nothing against the Pepsi. It's a beautiful watch, but it just was not for me. So
I hate the ceramic Pepsis. I don't. They do nothing for me at all. I just think they look like Play School. Play School, the brand for children. It's too bright and neon-y looking. And then you compare that with the original ones. They're so amazing.
No, the new ones that you think look bright, they're the first generation.
Yeah, the Mark ones.
I had the Mark III, the latest generation. If you look at my Pepsi video, you'll see that it's actually quite deep and illustrious.
But I wonder how much of that is that scarcity, that concept of value through exclusion.
Yes.
Do people really love the Pepsi, or do they love the Pepsi because it's so unattainable?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And I think a lot of that, I think if the Pepsi was readily available, I don't know that it would be the most popular Rolex watch.
It's always been the case. The Hulk was a fucking flop when it came out, the Hulk Sub. When it first came out, nobody wanted it because it looked weird. Why would I want a fully green looking watch? It looked odd. But as it became hard to get and became this elusive thing, people fell in love with the idea of it. It was different.
Yeah, we want what we can't have.
Guys, we owe JC a shout out for his super chat. Also, as band guys, have you ever had to scrape together money for videos? Now you can do videos for free, gang. You can. Just use your iPhone. If you love Wires by Red Fang, I have no idea what that is, but I will look that up. And for you, I'm going to give you Cowbell. Thank you very much, JC Kingsley. Sorry to keep you holding on like that. But, you know, all super chats are worth holding on to, man. Thanks so very, very much. I just
nice.
Anybody hanging on line.
I love the atmosphere in here. It's like
it's relaxing. We can talk about you fucking want, brother.
You know what I kind of feel like? This is like when we go to court and everything's very formal and you have to really mind what you say, and if you're testifying and then you leave court and you go to lunch, you're just like talking shit about the prosecutor and you're making fun of what the witness said, and you're like, that fucking guy, can you believe that fucking guy? This is like that equivalent. So this is great. And I appreciate you having me on, Dirk. I don't want
Sure, man. Absolutely.
I don't want to. I'm always aware of my oversaturation factor, but
are you oversaturated in the marketplace?
I hope not. I hope not.
I'm always
iBashers on Friday night is we just drink some wine and we talk about whatever the hell we want.
Yeah.
We almost never have a guest, so welcome. I mean, it's very rare. Last week we had Emmett on and he played like he took requests and it turned into a mega super chat shit show. It was crazy what happened last week. But we were also on for 4 hours.
We were.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And this show is usually 2 and change. You know?
Yeah, but O'Sheen's, I treat O'Sheen's show more like an interview type of, you know, especially if he has like Blakely on, because she's you know, fucking awesome. I love
they
are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful there. Yeah, so it's a great mix and great conversation.
Think about their mind though.
Yeah,
like how old are they? Like,
no, I'm assuming
she's not on here, so let's say she.
I'm assuming 30s,
like
early 30s,
at most
28.
At most 30. I would say 28.
Yeah,
her complexion is impeccable.
She has that beautiful.
And think about the mind. Think about the mind.
Yeah, I think back to me when I was that age.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to hold that conversation at 28.
I think you were 40 when you were 20, John. You know, like some people are just old souls, you know.
Yeah, to some extent. I think growing up in the Soviet Union aged me dramatically as a kid. But
growing up in the Soviet Union, it sounds so crazy for like a guy with zero accent to just say that. You go,
I had a buddy of mine, a coworker of mine. We were talking about this, and he goes, it's still weird to me that you're not American. You're just like such a regular dude. Like, what?
I wouldn't call you a regular dude, but yeah.
What does that mean? You know, it's like you're just like a bro, like you're a guy. And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess I've assimilated well, but you know,
you better start saying paddock then, since you're a bro.
Paddock.
Yo, I'm working my way up to a paddock, bro. I'm paddock level. You know,
I'm actually, you know what? I'm actually working my way up to a Vacheron. I think that's going to be my ultimate. And this is to some extent to credit O'Sheen, but to some extent it's like that outlier. It's that
it is.
It's what they call there's a term for Army Special Operations. They say the quiet professional.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I view Vacheron. They're the quiet professional. You know, it's the guy that walks into the room, says very little, will kind of just hover and observe, and you just look at him and you're like, I'm not fucking with that guy.
He has a way bigger dick than any of the Rolex guys.
And he doesn't ever talk about it.
No, because he doesn't have to.
He's just that guy. Yeah.
Like,
so
you like my sub date? Yeah, you like that? Yeah.
And
Rolex guys,
Patek is like old money. Patek to me is like old money. You know, it's that you look at that guy and you're like, fuck, that guy's rich. You could just tell by looking at
That's
him.
why their new releases are so genius with the denim looking leather. That's genius.
They're trying to young it up.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And of course, AP are the crazy mad pop art Banksy in the room. That's what AP are. They're the wild childs.
AP is the wealthy musician that just dresses however the fuck he wants. He wears Crocs and sweatshirts, but you're like, hey, that guy over there, he's worth $300 million. You're like, what? That guy? Really? You're like, yeah, that guy's a major recording artist. You're like, holy shit. And Patek to me is
They do like selling to artists. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, they lean into that.
They lean into artists, directors, performers, auteurs, people like that. That's who they want to sell to. AP favor those kind of clientele. Whereas Rolex are fine with the yuppies and the power guys and the, stuff like that, restaurateurs.
It's always been that way.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if you know this, Oshin, but how difficult would it be to get, a Vacheron from an authorized dealer? I mean, I know even on their website, you have to make an appointment. It's a whole thing.
Well, right now is a very good time to get one because of the way things are. It's probably the best time in history. I don't know about one of those new rose gold things with the green, but certainly a regular overseas, maybe not blue dial because everybody wants blue dial. You get in line, but you pretty much whatever games Rolex plays, you can multiply it by 10 for all the Holy Trinity. And it's always been that way. And the reasons are many, but one of them is because Rolex does pump out a lot of watches every year. Yeah. Now it's a big catalog, so that million, it really divides down a lot. So you think of a million, you think a million subs, a million Daytonas. No. Like 10,000 subs, 10,000 Daytonas, when you really divide it down in the catalog. But, when you're looking at AP and they're making 50,000, 40,000 watches a year, then it really gets slim. And Vacheron and Patek, you're really getting slim down there, and you better be someone, or you better be, you better have some spend history, or you go gray. And it's the best time in the world to go gray for all of these brands because they're all around retail on the gray market.
Yeah.
Or they're a little bit more, but they're, so a Royal Oak, regular Royal Oak 3-hander is whatever, 38,000. You'll get one for 50 or 48. You'll have to add 10 on. But that's way better than it used to be. It used to be 100 grand. 2 years ago, it was 100 grand for that same thing. So it's a really good time to get into one of those watches, I think.
And I feel
you're stepping into Holy Trinity.
Yeah, and I feel like Vacheron is not really.
Yeah, out of the three.
Yeah,
you never see them. You never see them.
Out of the three,
most attainable. Yeah. I think it's
definitely the choice out of that. Like that green. Now you finally did reconcile the whole green dial thing. It was beautiful in person, Machine.
I never got to put one on the wrist.
Oh, you didn't.
Timmy tried to get us on the line, and we didn't. We were waiting for a cancellation. We were on standby, like in an airline, and we didn't get on because
did you see it in person?
I saw it behind glass in a display, and the display was not helping the watch at all. The display was too bright and at a weird angle, and all the dials looked almost black. It didn't highlight the green at all. So that's why I wanted to try it on the wrist, but I didn't manage to do that. But that adds to the allure of these watches that they change depending on the environment. These watches look different in different environments, and that's a beautiful thing.
But I will say the ubiquitous nature of Rolex has definitely hit me over the years, especially traveling and going into airport lounges and hotels, and I mean every other person has a Submariner. So it's almost like
I'm still impressed.
They are, and they're still, it to me it's also like it's a paradoxical thing because it's like saying, well, everybody drives a Ford pickup truck. Well, because they make the best pickup trucks in the world, or everybody drives a Toyota. Well, yeah, because they're great cars.
The musical version is Gibson Les Paul.
Yeah, so it's like
Gibson Les Paul.
There's a reason why Rolex has 38% of the watch market. It's because they make fantastic watches. It wouldn't.
How much? What's their market share?
38%. The last number I heard.
Yeah, I mean they own so much of it,
and that's competing with Swatch Group. And
they're giants.
Yeah.
Who has the biggest percentage?
Them.
No, they do. Rolex.
Oh, Rolex is the biggest.
By a mile.
It's the biggest one. Yeah, I think the next one
by a complete mile.
I think the next one is, and again, somebody feel free to do the research, but I actually think it's the Swatch Group is the number 2. But Swatch, because Swatch has such a vast reach, but yeah, it's not even close. I think Swatch has like 18%. and Rolex is like 38.
And they have all those brands under their umbrella.
Right.
Yeah, and they're still not even making.
So wait a second. So Rolex outsells Omega by that much of a margin?
God, you have no idea. Like
it's not even close.
Omega, okay, we do, but they're tiny next to Rolex. They just are. Rolex fucking dominates.
And that's making 1 million watches a year.
And that's with paying no taxes.
Right.
Yeah.
They completely dominate, because for many people, it's nothing to do. It's not, do you have a watch? Do you have a Rolex is the question.
Wow.
You know, Rolex is
switching watches right now.
Well, it's almost like it's almost like Rolex has transcended that. And I remember when somebody made this point that when the company becomes the verb of the thing that you're talking about,
we were just talking about. We were saying Scotch tape.
Yeah, when you Google something. When you say that, that's the entity that's in charge. So when you say Rolex, even people that know nothing about watches are going to go, "Oh, that's a luxury watch."
Spooged.
Yeah. If you say
says Omega's third.
Oh wow.
7.5%. Omega has 7.5%.
Okay,
Cartier
but that's not
is
Swatch.
8%.
Ooh.
Julius Caesar says 30% is Rolex. I'm sure this is easily searchable, but yeah.
Wow, that's mind fucking.
That's interesting. Omega has 3 billion versus 4.5 billion for Rolex
in sales.
But is that Omega?
I'm not surprised about Cartier.
Group? But is that Swatch Group? Or is that
I think
Omega?
that's Swatch Group. I think that's Swatch Group, not Omega. It can't be Omega. There's
no
way Omega is close in any way to Rolex.
So how many watches does
I'm not
Omega
surprised
sell
about
a year?
Cartier. I don't know.
Here's my question. Is this based upon how much profit they make or how many units sold?
I think it's total sales. That's
it has to be sales in dollars because Rolex is more expensive.
Well, because Rolex's profits are actually not publicly available because
they don't pay tax,
and because of Swiss secrecy laws around all those things. So that's just what they sell.
Wow.
And I heard
Julius Caesar said Tudor is 17th. That's crazy to me.
And that's still Rolex technically.
Technically it is, sure.
Rolex position themselves in two different places. They're flanking the market, which
it would be
smart.
It would be the equivalent of Coca-Cola also having market share in drugs that treated diabetes. It's like that sort of nefarious. We'll give you Rolex, we'll also give you Tudor.
And no, it's like the Four Seasons also owning, the
Marriott
motel in.
Well, Four Seasons does not own any hotels. They're a management company. They own nothing. Those like the George Shank and all those great properties, those are owned by like Dubai and Emirati. Yeah. They are strictly a management company. I think the only property they ever owned was 57th Street, and that's closed.
Oh, that's closed now?
Gone.
Where do all the stars stay?
Oh, they stay at the fucking Plaza.
Is the Plaza a hotel again?
Well, Plaza remained a hotel when it reopened. Well, it never really closed. What they did was they made residences, but there's still a hotel. Then there's the Pierre and the Sherry Netherland. And I mean, what is the hot hotel in New York anymore? I don't like the
W, no?
I mean, that's just fucking
Central Park. Isn't there nice?
Well, there's the Plaza. That's the Plaza.
Yeah, the Plaza.
Or the Mandarin Oriental.
Yeah, there's that shit. There's the Ritz-Carlton. Yeah, they're a management company, because I remember when we were in Paris and we stayed at the George Cinq, there was so many fucking like Arabic guards around, and there was two guys with like Arabic dudes with
Amman is the place.
Oh, the Amman, yeah. The Amman in New York looks really super shitty, by the way.
Really? Because here it is the sickest hotel here.
It's so funny because this kind of stuff makes me miss the days of COVID, which sounds terrible to say, but so when we travel as government employees, we have to select hotels at the government rate.
Right. Yeah, but the government gets great sick deals though, right?
Well, they do, but a lot of really high-end properties won't honor the government rate because it's typically much lower than the most competitive rate. So after COVID and all the hotels were trying to get as many people as possible in their rooms, these outrageous locations, the St. Regis in San Francisco and all these places that they're usually $500 to $800 a night. They were offering the government rate. And I remember going to Manhattan and, getting a hotel that I could never, would never be able to justify, on my voucher and being able to stay there. And I remember my supervisor was like, you stayed where? You stayed at the Plaza? And I go, yeah. He goes, how the hell did you do that? I'm like, well, they were offering the government rate. He goes, Jesus Christ, are you serious? I'm like, yeah.
You were the smart one.
Yeah, but I stayed at the St. Regis in San Francisco. And I remember I was walking back from our office to the hotel, and there was, these black SUVs and guys standing around. And I was like, oh shit, like Secret Service is here. What the hell's going on? And I walked into the lobby and I said, hey, is somebody here? Yeah, Joe Biden is here.
Oh.
Like, holy shit. So he's staying at the same hotel that I was at. And that was like the weird COVID times where they were just trying to get, as much value as possible, but those days are obviously long gone now, but we still get lucky.
He says Federer stays at the Carlisle on Madison. I like that hotel.
So do I love the what is it called, the Beatleman bar down.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
That's a great little bar. Everybody plays there. You know who lived there? Elaine Stritch lived there. You know how many? Liza Minnelli lived there for a while. Peter Allen. So many people used to
funny
live
you
there.
Live in a hotel. That's so fucking
People
crazy.
live in hotels. They do.
If I won the lottery, I'd probably spend my first 6 months in a hotel like that.
Yeah.
While I figured out like what mansion I was going to buy, I'd just fucking live in a fucking 5-star hotel.
That's me too. I would do it. Eddie says he heard Federer is an asshole. Absolutely 100%, completely not true by any stretch of the imagination. I know a ton of people who are.
We actually know people who work with him.
He's a god.
He's
kind and sweet.
Roger Federer?
Yeah.
Roger Federer.
He seems like the nicest guy ever.
He's the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Everybody says he's the most down-to-earth sweetheart ever.
Yeah. We actually know people. We're not guessing that.
No, not guessing. I also know a guy who used to string his rackets for years and years and years. And he goes, he's the only guy that always said please and thank you. And he always tipped him. And no one else would even show up. He'd come down to go, oh, thanks so much. He's a good guy. So, Eddie, what you heard's not true. And I'm happy to say it.
Yeah. There's some mega stars were super nice. Elvis apparently was super nice. He would remember everyone's names. He would speak to, assistants in the studio or janitors or something and ask them how their kids were. Like he would go the extra mile to speak to regular folk. He wasn't.
Bill Clinton was like that.
Really?
Yeah, Bill Clinton is like that. There was a saying about Clinton that when he talked to you, you felt like you were the only person in the room.
Because he was trying to get in your pants.
People say that about Brad Pitt. Apparently Brad Pitt, when he speaks to you, he looks straight in your eyes and he wants to know all about you.
Yeah.
And he has sincere questions and he never talks about himself in any way. Apparently that's just his nature.
I think it might be just that level of accomplishment, because I think most of us go around the world constantly trying to prove ourselves to other people as well as ourselves.
Oh yeah, I went there too, and I did that. Yeah, and I ate at that restaurant where they're literally kings of the world. So
these people are not only so accomplished, but they're publicly accomplished.
Yeah.
So everyone knows how successful and famous you are. So it's not like you did something and it's your little secret and you're eager to share it. It's like it's so out there that you don't have to act like a big shot, because the minute you walk into the room, everybody looks at you and goes, holy shit, there's Brad Pitt. So it's almost like a diffusion there. I feel like people are just
maybe.
Brad Pitt also knows that everyone wants to fuck him. Men, women, everyone
on the earth.
Everyone in the world wants to fuck him. So
that's gonna be weird.
He's so universally beautiful to everyone.
Yeah.
Like women want to bang him, guys want to be him so bad.
That same
because a guy that says hetero is a shame, because obviously he has zero barometer on what it makes a man attractive. He looks at the prettiest guy in the room. He looks at the guy that looks closest to what he would find attractive in a woman. So Brad Pitt was so beautiful as a child. Like he's not going to look at like Sam Elliott and go, yeah, I'd hit that, because he just zero.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Brad Pitt, everyone wants to fuck Brad Pitt.
That same friend that couldn't believe that I was born in the Soviet Union and said that I was such a bro. He told me about, he goes, have you ever seen Legends of the Fall? I'm like, what?
The prettiest he ever was.
What the hell are you talking about? And he told me that. He's like, listen, I'm not gay, but I'd fuck Brad Pitt.
See, I don't even have that. I kind of wish I did. Like, I don't even have that. I'll see a very pretty man, and I'll see it, but I can't, I don't know.
I mean, I kind of wonder what that's like, because I'm not one of those queens that says, oh my God, everybody's bi. I totally disagree. I don't think everybody is, but I've had sex with women.
Sure. Yeah.
And you know what?
Sure.
I've tasted.
See that teapot? Would you fuck
beautiful.
that? Would you fuck it? No,
that's
the way it looks to me.
I totally get that.
That's the way it looks to me.
1,000,000% get that.
It's a beautiful teapot.
Do you know how many people don't get that, though? I get it.
It's
gorgeous.
But
does this make you horny right now? This wine opener, is this making you? Is it just doing it for you?
That's what I'm trying to say.
I get it.
So you're just focused on the physical beauty rather than that mental infatuation that you're like, oh man, this person is their aura.
He's had man crushes, but it's non-sexual.
Who's on me?
You've had crushes on guys who you think are great, but it's completely non-sexual. It's
like a bro crush.
Yeah, bro crush. You think they're amazing.
Oh, like the super god, like De Niro or fucking
or like Sean.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, you'd be like in awe, but like then they whip out their junk and you're like,
Robbie Williams used to say all the time, he's like, everybody says I'm gay and I like that gay. He goes, but when it comes to the bits, I can't do it, man.
No way.
That's so great, though.
Yeah,
because that's why the youngins nowadays drive me crazy with all their bullshit.
That's I'm like,
people aren't all bi, kids. They're just not.
I'm so far on the other side. I don't even see, like when I'm with a woman, I don't even see what she's seeing. Like there was a fairly recent,
because you're gross.
Fairly recent, kind of not even girlfriend, but whatever. Yeah, and I was stepping in the shower, and we were on FaceTime, and she got all red and excited that I was getting in the shower, and I was like, "You're about to witness a hairy, grotesque beast."
And she's like, yes.
Yeah, she's like, yes. And not to get too graphic, but it is eyebrushes and it's in the middle of the night. When you do the 69 thing.
Did you just say that?
Yeah. When you do the 69 thing, like from my perspective, it's all flowers in a valley. All I can think of is, what is she looking at?
What is that poor woman being exposed
What is she being subjected to?
The view she wants.
It turns out she's fine. Yeah. Look, if I took a photo of myself from that angle, I would throw up.
Right, yeah.
It's fucking eyebrushes on a Friday night, guys.
It's kind of how I feel about Radiohead. I just don't get it.
We've moved from the post.
Just don't get it.
We've moved from the post courtroom lunch to the post courtroom lunch out to the bar.
It's when you win in court and then you all hit the bar like a devil's advocate. You all have shots.
This is the bar scene. This is the bar scene. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I say the same thing to my wife because she's like, she'll be infatuated with this or that. And I'm like, ugh, what are you looking at? What on God's green earth are you so infatuated with?
Isn't it funny? Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. We don't be killing each other.
Oh my God. Otherwise, there would be no human race. Because we're not pretty creatures. We're just not.
Say ye. You're wrong, though. People think men are beautiful.
All right.
So what is it from the gay perspective, Dirk? How
very varied. It's very varied. It's very varied. I don't I don't enjoy pretty, beautiful Brad Pitt things. I like, John Hamm and
you like a masculine guy.
Yeah, I like Steve Garvey forearms.
Yeah,
I'm not interested in pretty in any way.
Tom Selleck mustache.
Tom Selleck, totally. I mean, Tom Selleck was one of the most beautiful men that's ever lived.
Yeah, and
and he agrees. He knows he was great looking. He knows it. Yeah, he knows it. I mean, if you had to look like anybody on earth, wouldn't you want to look like Tom Selleck?
No, absolutely not. I'd look like John Hamm, sure. Oh my god, what a it's fucking
I'd go John Hamm or Brad Pitt or maybe George Clooney, if I wanted to be a little bit more.
But you know what Clooney is sexless.
It's
There's
personality.
nothing sexy about him at all. He's
even in the American.
No, he's great looking, but there's nothing that makes you say, "I'd like to hit that."
Even in Out of Sight?
Not at all.
Really?
Not for you.
So you're going for the youth. The youth is definitely not a key thing for me. I never liked pretty. I've never gone for pretty.
See, I'll never.
Yeah,
well, hey, this is how it works. This is how it works.
Jocelyn Bittenberger says Cary Grant. Yeah, and I could have had that too if I was alive at that time because he was gayer than Christmas.
Cary Grant.
Cary Grant's boyfriend was a very famous cowboy in the cinema.
Oh, somebody said Sean Connery. Poor schluck.
I mean, Sean Connery, come the fuck on.
Sean Connery might slap you around too a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine too. You know.
Yeah, if you spoke too much.
Sometimes you have to hit a woman.
That's what he said that in the Playboy interview.
Famous interview.
But what's the guy? Oisin, do the impersonation, Alec Baldwin one.
He just did one.
No, you do the
mine wasn't great.
No, it was good enough, but you got to speak like that. The one where he goes when Sean Connery at the cocktail party, Alec Baldwin does it. He goes, no, Sean. His wife wouldn't let him have a drink or a canapé or anything because his wife was really in control of his life.
No, Sean, no champagne for you. He's that doesn't look like it's going to be much of a party, Whatever. I can't even do him right now. It's too late.
Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Luke Moss said $5. Okay, Dirk, you made me switch from the Speedy to the Sub. While everybody was talking round next. I cannot believe. You know what? Here's what I want to say, and here's my statement. I can't believe that many people have that kind of money. I just can't.
There's
believe
a lot of money in the world.
1 million people have that kind of money.
Did you put it on the right arm?
I put it on. Oh yeah, I did. I know.
Be careful. Be careful.
Drinking
wine and
yeah. All right.
We're
gesticulating violent.
But I have tape on
it looks better.
I have tape.
Yeah, but you're gonna hit the head of it off your microphone.
I know. All right, so it's there. It's really funny though. It's so tight on this wrist. On my normal one. I mean, I like a snug watch. I don't like any loosey goosey, but it's actually I actually really probably need to change the adjustment on my left wrist because I'm.
Are you a lefty? Are you a lefty?
I'm a lefty. Yeah,
he's a lefty. Use the Easy Link. Pop open the Easy Link.
I will do that in a second, but first, Luke, I'm going to give you some cowbell. Thank you so much, and we also have Eddie in the room. Oh, actually, I missed one. Don't want to do it. Alpha Foxtrot. Great name. Anybody ever see the movie Whiskey Tango Foxtrot?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. With
charming, wasn't it?
Tina Fey.
So charming.
Yeah.
It's something about Tina Fey. Like, if I was a straight guy, I would fall madly in love with her. I think she's
gorgeous.
Gorgeous, smarter than fuck.
Yeah, very funny, very smart.
Yeah. I love everything about it. Imagine being in the and her husband, by the way, is like an elf. He's about 3'11", and he's a musical genius. Plays something like 17 instruments, and he wrote all the music for 30 Rock and any endeavor that she's involved in. And he also writes for symphony. This guy's amazing. Anyway, Alpha Foxtrot, we owe you $10. Thank you so much for that. You are killing me. No, you're killing me.
Did you cut that short, or was that...
I did not cut that short. I let it ride all the way through. Okay. And then we have 10 from Eddie. I'm not being a wise ass, Dirk. It's a serious question. Okay. Are we all right? Let's be serious.
Size a big deal
in the gay community. It depends on the gay. I mean, some people are size queens and some people are not. It's like some guys like big boobs and some guys do not. Wow. Now, there's a whole Brazilian.
No, every guy likes big boobs, but
no, they don't.
Some guys don't care.
No, I know a guy that likes specifically. Actually, I know more than one guy that specifically likes A-cup girls.
Okay,
yeah, that's their thing. Everybody. Also, big boobs can ruin the proportion of a beautiful body. Now, speaking as a from an artistic level, really big boobs ruin the symmetry of a beautiful.
Oh,
female form.
sure.
Yeah.
Right. I've yet to meet a man who will go, no, I don't like her because her boobs are too big. Like
Like
boobs,
moose.
it's all good, but it's don't dox your friend.
Hi, moose.
It's all good, but some of us, including me, I don't really care if it's there. Then that's
So what's the
nice.
body part that says yes to you? What's the thing that knocks you out?
Legs and ass. Like
legs.
Italian ass is amazing.
Agreed.
Italian ass, incredible.
Yeah. Legs, ass. Okay,
that's one of the first comments I made on Oshin's video when he was in that plaza, and there was that red girl in the dress.
Remember the girl in the red dress.
Yeah, and I said if a woman was a car, that was a Ferrari.
Yeah, because even Chris saw it. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm so distracted by this girl's ass."
And it was like a wide shot of the crowd, and it was like in the Matrix when you see that red woman walk past in a dress. It was like so distracting.
Yeah.
Every time I think of the girl in the red dress, I think of Schindler's List. I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm like, oh my god, it's ruining my. It's like all the sex has been removed from the conversation. I'm like,
no, we're thinking about the Matrix.
That was a girl in the
I've never seen the Matrix.
A little girl.
Ever.
The little girl
you
in the red
totally
coat.
see the Matrix. It's a brilliant film.
Do you know who just said it was the best science fiction movie ever made?
Are you listening? Are you listening to me, Neil? Or are you looking at the woman in the red dress? Look again.
And she's got
one of the agents.
Is that from the Matrix?
That's from the Matrix. You should totally see that film.
It's a great
first one. You should totally see.
Neil deGrasse Tyson just broke down all the films that get the science right, and he broke down his favorite sci-fi films, and it's a really fun thing. And he put the Matrix at number 1.
Yeah. Well, the Matrix actually philosophically plays off the concept that if we were living in a simulation, would we know it?
Yes.
And there's been scientists that have made the argument that I forget there's an argument for it. And one of the key points is if we had the technology to do it, would we do it? And if we did, would we know that we did it if we were in it?
And would we care?
And would we? Yeah. And would
I
we?
don't want to give away too much to Dirk, who's the only person on the planet Earth.
I've never seen the Matrix. I've never seen the Matrix because it took me too long to wise up to Keanu Reeves. I used to just think,
well, you know the guy who John, you know the guy who turns, who doesn't, he wants to go back into the Matrix, and he's like, I don't want to remember anything. I want to eat juicy steak and so on.
I know it's fake, and I don't care.
And that's so profound because that applies to so much in our modern society.
Well, this is where I feel like people miss the underlying meaning of some of these movies. I remember watching Sicario, and a friend of mine was, criticizing the movie for like technical things like, oh, look at this, look at that. And I'm like, you're missing the point. The point of the movie is, what are the ethics of fighting fire with fire? Right. That's the point of that movie. It's not about the border shootout scene and whether or not that would happen in real life. We know that that's not how that would play out, but it's crossing those moral and ethical lines.
Jesus, I'm just thinking that film. I don't want to give away too much about you because I'm very ardent about protecting your identity, but that film must have hit a lot of fucking chords with you.
Yeah, that was a great, and like I said, I took away the underlying meaning of that film more so than the technical aspects where they got certain things wrong. But I love that movie. I love that movie for its art direction. The cinematography is fantastic in that movie, and the character development.
The Wachowskis, both, by the way, are women now.
So fucking dark if you actually sit back and analyze.
No, you're talking, Dirk, you're still speaking about The Matrix. We're talking about Sicario.
Sicario.
How did you, where did that happen?
You're not listening, or you've got wine ears.
No, I'm not.
We just moved on to Sicario.
I've barely gotten a third of that bottle in.
Yeah, that was Dennis Villeneuve.
It's Denis Villeneuve. It's
Denis Villeneuve.
Do you know the film?
Did he do Sicario?
Sicario.
Yes.
It's about drugs. I do not watch drug movies.
It's not.
I abhor everything to do with drugs.
It's not a drug movie.
It's not about drug trafficking.
It's not a drug movie.
It's not about that.
You've got to see that film.
It's Benicio del Toro, right?
Benicio del Toro.
Don't you like him?
No, I don't
brilliant.
like him.
Oh, you don't like him?
I see him acting all the time, and I don't dig him.
Benicio del Toro is good in it. Josh Brolin.
I like Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin's very good in it. One of my
who's
favorite.
the female in that?
What's her name? Yeah.
So should I watch The Matrix tonight, or should I watch Sicario?
Either one.
You can't go wrong.
You can't go. I would start with The Matrix just because you need to fix that problem, because you're the only person on the planet Earth that hasn't seen that film.
There's a lot of crazy films that came out because I'm an old queen and I love like great old Billy Wilder movies and fucking David Lean, and I watch, like, I love Spielberg and blah blah blah. But a lot of modern movies just go over my head and I don't watch them.
Oh man! First of all, it's 25 years old, so it's not a modern movie.
It's a modern movie.
Okay. And you should totally see it. And it was groundbreaking at the time. The effects,
I know.
At the time, the effects were groundbreaking.
Yeah, I think at the time I think even now they're competitively well done. The cinematography and the special effects.
Fascinating how both of those brothers became girls, though.
Yes, it's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Their business.
Because my brother is gay too, and neither of us have any interest in a vagina installation.
Well, that's a very different thing. And,
I know, but
you know that. But Sicario, you should totally see. It's a modern epic.
Oh,
it's a modern epic.
I want to give. I don't want to blow Eddie off with his $10 because we digressed so far. The answer to your question is it's really big deal, and if you don't have a big dick, you're not allowed to be gay. You have to stay out of the fucking club. They won't let you in the door. It's big cocks only. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
All I can say is that I'm not a size queen, really, but I remember, like, I've been with
you get to say that because Paolo is.
Yeah, but I've been in a relationship for 35 years, and lucky me, like I said this, I was like, oh, thank God.
Right.
I lucked out, because imagine you fall in love with somebody and you find out that they've got a micro penis.
That's the other weird thing.
You're going to wind up cheating on them.
That's the other weird thing that women are faced with a problem that men aren't, because we get to see everything from the outside, and we don't really have concerns that when they get naked, a lot is going to change. But for women, it's not that at all, because they could fall in love with your personality, your physical appearance, and then you drop your pants, and it's like,
big moment comes
along. Could you imagine all those arranged marriages?
Complete disappointment.
That they have to wait until the marriage night.
But then can you imagine being the dude who's just like, everything's gone great, and she's laughing at all the jokes and everything's great, and then the next day she's like not answering, or she turned cold or something weird like that, and he's thinking, is it that? Oh, it's awful. I have a personal philosophy that many mass murders that happen in the world and people who shoot up schools and stuff are related to things like that. The men in many cases carry that fucking pain around with them.
They do. You and I talked about that privately, and that's probably
like the inability to find a mate. Yeah,
what it's called? Also, small dick syndrome. I call it.
Incels.
Eddie says, because I'll tell you, if I was gay, I'd want to swing a bat all night. And you could, dude, because you know what? Because guys are like, yeah, I'll fuck. It's totally a different thing. It's a totally different thing. It's like there's not so much workup and planning to go out and hook up, because you just look at a guy crooked and he's like, yeah, I'll fuck. That's just because guys are guys, straight or gay. We all want to have sex with you, and we don't have a problem with that. Milk, juice, bread, cat food, dog food, blowjob.
There you go. To men, sex is like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Dude, I say that all the time. Cowbell for you, motherfucker. Oshin and I were talking about pizza because he's got a little bit of a gluten issue, and which really sucks, but he would love to enjoy more pizza if he could. And I'm like, I love all pizza and I'll eat airport pizza, but I kind of fancy myself as a pizza connoisseur. And he always tells people to stay away from pizza in Venice because fucking pizza does not come from Venice. You might as well go get it in Prague or Liechtenstein, because it's the fucking same thing. You go to Napoli. It's so true, though.
But in New York, it's like the mecca of good pizza because of the water.
Listen, man. I live in New York, so I've had great pizza my entire life. However, people from Napoli will disagree with me about like how good my pizza is because it's nowhere even close to the style of pizza that was originally invented in Napoli. It's not the same thing.
It's been Americanized.
It's been so Americanized, and there's great versions of that. Then there's people in Chicago. We'll talk about their deep dish. I had that once, and it put me in a carb coma. It's indigestible.
How do you feel about John's? Near Broadway,
it's
I think
the best.
That's one of the best.
It's
right?
on Bleecker Street. It's the best.
It's one of the best.
The best pie in New York City because it's Neapolitan. It comes out of the oven looking like that. It's wood fired. It's burnt on the bottom. It's got the big puffy out. But it's crispy. So I think John's is probably the best pizza in New York. I had Joe's the other night because I went and I met my friends over at the Old Town Bar, and they were already hammered by the time I got there. So our little liaison was actually kind of light. It was maybe an hour or two. And on the way home, there's a Joe's there, and I went and I got an entire pie. I took it home, and it was shit. It was absolute crap.
Of course.
Tasted like cafeteria pizza. It wasn't great. It wasn't great.
Yeah, John's is one of the best that I've had.
John's is great. You've had John's a million times, right, Oshin? On Bleecker?
I don't eat so much.
Even back in the day, right?
There's multiple locations, right? There's one that's in an old church.
No.
There's the one in the old church, right?
It's John, like I'm thinking of the real John's, the coal-fired one.
Yep, that's the one.
That's the real one. If there's another one, because you can go to Brooklyn and all those other big pizzerias, they've all franchised out. And once you franchise out, it's never the same. Joe's on Carmine used to be the best there was.
Carmine.
And the second they changed, it just became absolute rubbish. Because the one on 14th Street is good, but it's not that good. Pizza's funny. Like I've never been to Napoli, and it's number one on my hit list for Italy. Been to Italy a zillion times, never been that far south. I'm dying to go in there, hit the coffee, hit the pizza.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's the best cup of coffee is at Gambrinus. It's supposed to be Cafe Gambrinus is supposed to be the greatest coffee you'll ever have in your entire life.
I've no doubt.
Yeah, and I'm dying to try it. And I don't put anything in my coffee. I just drink my coffee black. That's the way I like it.
That's called coffee.
That's called coffee. I know. I'm not interested in cappuccino, or I might every once in a while have a macchiato because it's, because I love the art of it. When you see like a great barista make something, I do appreciate that. I just don't like milk. So it's not my thing,
Getting back to Rolex real quick. My friend just texted me and said he was offered the new GMT.
Oh, fuck.
Just now.
He should get it.
AD?
I told him he's out of his mind if he doesn't buy it.
Yeah, he should buy it.
Give him the money.
For two reasons. First of all, it's the brand new model, and you can't go wrong money-wise. But also, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful watch.
I mean, I love the espresso, the Black Beauty. It's all black. It's maybe one of the best GMTs ever. And this is just almost the same, but it's got that gray.
It's cream. It's cream.
And it's I mean, even on the Jubilee, some people say it's too busy on the Jubilee. It's not. I don't think.
Yeah, he got it offered on the Oyster.
On the Oyster is even better. I think if you're
I told him. I just told him. I said, if you don't like it, I'll buy it from you.
Yeah.
You go get it now.
Yeah. And if you don't dig it, you could flip it easily.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Man.
God knows what those prices are going to be for the first 6 months.
What's list on that?
Right around 11. Yeah,
is it 11 list?
With tax, probably around 11.
Yeah.
My Pepsi was 10.9 or 10.7.
You got a fucking Pepsi.
Yeah. After 8 months.
I hate you. The first that Pepsi I made the video on, I think I paid 19, and that's euros.
And that's still pretty good.
So yeah, that's the going rate.
And that was on the Jubilee.
That was on the Jubilee. Yeah. It was a stunner. It just didn't suit me. That's all. There's nothing wrong with the watch. There's nothing wrong with me. We're just two different animals. That's all.
They were just incompatible, and that's the same feeling I had. That's the same feeling I had. It's just incompatibility for some reason. And I think there's probably people that would hear that and would think I'm out of my mind. for getting rid of it. But
not
you
at all.
know, it's just, it is what it is. You know, it's like what's that saying about you see the hottest girl in the world, and there's a guy out there that's tired of fucking her.
It's the truth though.
Dirk has been saying that for 20
I've saying
years.
to my life,
Yeah.
you show me that, and I don't say girl because it's demeaning to anybody.
Not the
but
girl in the red
guys
dress.
in general, you show me the hottest person in the world, and I'll show you the guy that's tired of hitting that.
Yeah. Not the
guys
girl
are
from
just
Schindler's
like,
List.
you know, right.
The woman in the red
I just
dress.
think of the black and
Not
white
the
film.
girl.
We're gonna get in trouble again for these references.
Not the girl.
You know what?
List.
One of the hate channels is gonna find a way to take that and turn that into some other kind of video that makes us look
100%.
like we're monsters.
Yeah. They're going to clip that.
That's what they manufacture.
They're going to clip that concentration camp joke I made earlier. They're going to clip that.
Oh my God, you can't go anywhere near that. I'll be right back, guys. Pee break.
No problem, man. Yeah, you got to be careful with these. It doesn't matter. The hate channels will hate anyway. They'll find something. But yeah, we try not to hand it to them on a silver platter.
You know what though? For your benefit, they're hard to find. You know, I can't. I mean, obviously, I don't want you publicly, you know, endorsing the hate channels, but I'm not sure. There's one that I kind of found that was talking about, you know, relitigating some of the things that Tim talked about, and I'm guessing it's probably the same one that relitigates everything you've ever said.
Yeah.
And I won't say them publicly to drive viewers there, but I was like, oh Jesus, it's like the most. I mean, if you talk about something that's being broadcast from a basement,
right?
That's definitely it.
Yeah, it happens, man. It's fine.
Yeah, well, you know, you're going to have.
The sad day is when nobody's paying any attention anymore, and
you're going to have absolutely, yeah, you're going to have detractors, and that's just the nature of being a public figure. So,
yeah, it's just part of the thing. It's fine. They watch every move, man. They're your biggest fans. You know, they're watching every single second of everything you do, and that's fine.
That's like a line from. Did you ever see Private Parts, the Howard Stern movie?
I did. That was a great film. I like that film.
Because where they're going over the ratings, and he said, you know, people that love him will listen for approximately 1.5 to 2 hours on average. And he said, okay. And people that hate him will listen for 4 hours.
Right.
And he goes, well, if they love him, why are they, you know, what are they listening for? Well, they want to hear what he'll say next. And he goes, if they hate him, why do they keep listening? They want to hear what he'll say next.
Right.
And it's the same thing. So those people that hate were listening for 4 hours, just waiting to see the next thing. What's the next thing he's going to say?
Hold on a second, wait. Let's use it.
You stupid fucking cunt.
I shouldn't have given you things. You're going to start using them.
People are going to say next, right?
I rewatched that movie again, actually. I have a new appreciation for that film.
I have to rewatch it because I hate it.
Really?
I just think
you have to think of it
such
like
a genius, and I think it's such pandery.
David Mamet?
Man, Mamet is so pandery too, man. And I love Glenn Ross. However, I went to see Oleana live with Treat Williams, and all I can say is that it was a brilliant play it was so overwritten that it was unnecessary. And fucking Scent of a Woman was Mamet. I didn't realize that.
I wonder how much.
No, that was not Scent of a Woman.
What is that?
That was
that's Glengarry
Ross. What the fuck?
Sorry. Why did I think that?
I always wonder. I always have a new appreciation for Pacino movies too, because I wonder how much of the stuff that he says is improvised. Because there's a couple scenes like that scene in Heat when he's in Las Vegas and he's interrogating that guy, and he says
she's got a great ass.
That was not in the script.
No, there's a lot that's not in the script.
None of that was in the script.
You think anybody wrote "booyah" into the script? No, he's a performer. Pacino dropped his acting a long time ago and became a performer, and that's fine.
Watch Danny Collins. Has anybody seen that movie? It's where he's an old rock star and he fucked up his whole life.
That's
and
right.
It's so nuanced. The acting by Pacino in that is so beautiful. It's so lyrical. The way that guy portrays this guy, it's so reminiscent of his earlier work. Like, I mean, Serpico, Cruising. That's one of the. Have you ever seen Cruising, Asheen?
You've asked me this a million times,
dude. It's fucking frightening, but he's a genius in it.
But have you seen Glengarry?
800,000 times.
And why didn't you recognize that stupid fucking?
Because it's just one clip.
It's the best clip from the movie.
No, the best clip is fourth place gets steak knives.
It's actually second place gets a set of steak.
No, first place is a Cadillac.
Yeah. Third place is you're fired.
First place you're fired. The best line in that movie is
and Eddie's saying Patel. Because of the leads. The leads are bad. The leads are weak.
You know who should have got an Academy Award for that? Jack Lemmon, when he's in the phone booth and he goes, oh, hold on one second. Sylvia, could you get me a pencil? Book 2 first class tickets on the red eye, blah, blah, blah. These are just the greatest. That scene in that phone booth should have secured him the Academy Award.
He's a king.
He was fantastic. The deflation. The deflation of that character was so well done throughout the movie.
My daughter. That's the very last line he says. But my daughter.
But Alec Baldwin stole that fucking movie.
And that part was not in the original play.
No,
they wrote it for the movie.
Because he was
if you see Glengarry live on stage, and I saw Glengarry on the Great White Way there in New York many years ago with Pacino playing Levine.
Yes,
he was playing. He was playing Levine's character because he's a different age at that point. And that whole scene with Alec Baldwin and always be closing and AIDA attention
written for him specifically.
It was written for him specifically. It's not part of the original play.
They promised him.
You won't see it live,
and he's barely in that movie.
He's in it for one scene.
Yeah.
One scene.
But
Shelley, man, have you ever seen anybody fucking the saddest sack ever? And the nuance that guy put in that performance. Show me a scene where Jack Lemmon is ever acting, and it does not exist.
Yeah, the arc of that character is so well done.
But you got Spacey, who's a fucking genius. All you PC fuckers, fuck off. He's just a handsy old queen.
He's incredible.
He's incredible. Fucking Ed Harris, so subdued. He's like, Ed Harris is such an intense actor, and that the way it's the most perfect cast. It's incredible.
And it is kind of funny that as much outrage as there was about Spacey when he was taken out of House of Cards, that show completely collapsed.
Oh my God! Did you see the 4th season?
No one cared. It was awful.
Greg Kinnear, who's fucking marvelous in everything he's ever done. He's never been shit in anything. He made a movie about fucking windshield wipers, and it was magical.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I saw that film.
That's
a great one.
And he's in there, and Diane Lane. It just became so fucking limp-dicked.
Diane Lane's in the 4th series.
It is in the 4th season.
Maybe I need to watch it because I'm fucking in love
she's a
with
super
her.
bang. She's just
I'm
outrageous.
fucking obsessed with her.
Yeah, and you should be, because I was on a plane once and I watched the worst movie ever made, but Diane Lane was in it, and I'm like, it's worth it.
I don't care. I'll watch Diane.
It's like Road to Paris or something, where she gets in a car with an old man and he gives her a ride, and it was shite. It was absolutely shite. Hold on a second. Tobster. Hey, Tobes. Good to see you. Everybody's favorite right-wing political pundit is here. And he says, don't think it's odd that all 3 Kevin Spacey accusers died during the trials. And after he made a creepy video, he's a creep, but for sure. The young guy did not die, by the way. He didn't. Listen, let me
By the way, Tobster, I need to say something to Tobster.
Go ahead.
Because I do appreciate Tobster. And he was in our chats all night on Who Needs a Drink.
Okay.
And he had a lot of interesting things to say.
As always.
But it was just so from the other fucking end of the pitch. It was too much. It was curveball. Mm-hmm. So that's why I didn't bring up any of your comments, Tobster, because, I want to keep the conversation going between Blakely and John and so on. And so I didn't ignore you. I saw your comments, but they they would have, thrown a spanner in the works each time. But I was watching her comments. Okay, just so you know, man.
That means
and the people were reading
it for the American audience.
Spanner, the wrench, yeah. Wrench can mean a different thing.
Yeah.
Throw a spanner in the works.
See, this is why I love this guy. He's like, it's fine, it's no problem. Because you know what? He gets a lot of airtime because he says a lot of fucking smart
I think
shit.
people were reading and people were replying to him in the
they
chat
do that.
as
That's
well.
the beauty of it.
I just didn't pull any of it up because it would have been, it would have been like mad.
I've actually gone back and looked at some of his comments, and he makes some very good points.
Fucking A, dude.
Yeah.
It's not like the guy doesn't do his research.
He
does his research, man. He's a very informed, very interesting guy. A little bit of a conspiracy theorist, and I love you. But that happens too.
No, you know what?
I'm sure you think I think a lot of things are crazy too.
That's the mark. That's the mark of a civil conversation, is when you can agree and disagree, but still remain civil towards each other. So yeah, I feel like the chat on this one was actually a lot more tame and less inflammatory than some of the other ones. I don't know what happened.
What happened was last week.
You're an anti-Semite.
I think last week I pissed everyone off, and then Paul Thorpe went on and smeared the shit out of me and the complete libel,
and me too.
And a bunch of people just ran away, and they're gone now.
But you still had like 1,000 people.
Let's give them some bait. Ready?
Yeah, but that's light for me on a Friday now. I used to be proud of 1,000. Now it's like, no, I'm still proud of 1,000, but it's been pretty heavy. But I think a lot of them are just there to see the cat fight in the watch world. So quite often I'll put it in the title. Tonight I just said Friday Night Chats as my title. Yeah. So it was a weak title. There was no subject in the title. Yeah. If I change the title tonight, before I go to bed, if I change the title to like Paul Thorpe, the truth about the gray market, then I'll get 10,000 more views because they'll click on it and they'll sit around and wait. And I love the fact that sometimes I put in that bait and they'll sit around for fucking 2 hours while they watch Blake. I'll make them sit through that. You know what I mean?
Should we just give them some sound bites? Asheen, you're totally wrong about all of that.
I almost said about those protests, I wanted to say, to quote a famous YouTuber, they didn't do it right.
They didn't do their mission. Their mission
they didn't do the job right.
Right. I'm taking a lot of heat for that one.
Dude, a particular YouTuber out there, we were talking about kerchiefs, and then he started saying we're making fun of a woman that was tortured and murdered.
Oh,
because he's definitely got our number, right?
We were talking about scarves. Yeah, that one. Yeah. All of a sudden, he put some woman. He superimposed a woman on the screen, said that the woman from the fashion catalog that we were actually talking about was this woman who was torturi
It's complete libel.
Which is hilarious. Which is hilarious too in context.
Get a lawyer.
That au revoir, Shoshana.
I always think of, let's see if John knows this, ready? Because Asheen will not. Au revoir, Simone. Au revoir, Simone.
Is it a film from 1958?
It's a film from 1985, 86.
That's a little,
and it's a masterpiece.
You got to consider,
but he will never think.
At that time, I was still in the Soviet Union.
Oh,
shit.
So Melodia, were you buying all your records from Melodia? Oh, John, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did you go to the Moscow Peace concert or any of those big
Western
concerts?
So my first exposure to Western culture, this is going to be very bizarre to most people. Do you know the first time I had McDonald's?
Jesus.
In Red Square.
When it opened.
When that first McDonald's
was that 1990?
Right next to Red Square. Yeah, I believe it was 89. And there was a line around the block. Wow. When I say line, I mean line, like Taylor Swift concert line. That's the first time I had McDonald's. That's the strangest juxtaposition.
Another quote from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Can you
just watch the fucking movie and then shut up already? It's Tim Burton's first movie.
Stop it.
Do you hate Tim Burton?
No, I just Not a big fan. Whatever. Okay. You've been quoting that film now for 20
I know,
years.
but you quote
We're like a
fucking
grumpy
Sexy
old
Beast
couple.
like it's going out of style.
We're a grumpy old couple.
Stop quoting Sexy Beast. Stop quoting Pee-wee's Big Adventure, man.
Yeah, I guess you.
And turn over, you snore. Do you know what? I haven't slept in the same fucking bed with Paul in 20 years. We sleep separately. It's impossible. I'm not sleep. You know what I want to sleep with? I slept with my cat for the last 20 years. I want to sleep alone. I don't want to sleep with anybody. Because you know what? You move. I fall asleep and I wake up in the same position. I wake up in the same position I fell asleep in. I don't fucking move.
Clear conscience.
He falls asleep on the couch. He's got his feet up on the wall.
John, you're right.
And you know where that's from?
Go.
You know where that quote is from? He falls asleep before his head hits the pillow, and the guy goes, "That's a clear conscience."
Oh, what's that? I like that.
Does anybody in the chat know this?
Let's see.
That's the best part. Let's see, because
they're googling it right now. So
I'll give you the full line. What's with that guy? He falls asleep before his head hits the pillow.
That's Paul.
Clean conscience.
Clean conscience.
Wow.
Let's see if anybody gets it.
Let's give Eddie a shout out. $5. There better not be another Kent State dude. It's we're very close to that, right? The shit that's going on right here.
I get up out of the bed and I look back at the bed and it looks like a war happened. It looks like
you're a sweaty mess though, right? You sweat like a beast.
It looks but it's not just the sweat. It's a troubled person. Clearly a troubled person. Jocelyn says Saving Private Ryan. Is it that?
That is correct.
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
Let's hit the cowbell and then we'll get. I don't want to screw any.
There's a scene when they're in the church and the sniper is racked out, and all the guys are sitting there talking about it, and they say, "What's with that guy? He's asleep before his head hits the pillow." And they cut away to Paul or to who's the guy that played the medic in Saving Private Ryan?
Oh, Giovanni Ribisi.
Oh yeah,
he's writing a letter.
Scientologist.
Yeah, he's rewriting the letter from Vince. He's
rewriting. Yes.
He's rewriting the letter from the character that was killed. I forget the guy. God, I'm drawing a blank now. With the guy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
By the way, Jocelyn Bittenbender has gotten every movie quote so far.
There you go.
Because you're some kind of savant, Jocelyn.
And Giovanni Ribisi says clear conscience. So that's you, Dirk. Wow. Clear conscience.
Maybe my conscience is clear, but obviously my blood pressure isn't.
Caparza. That's right. Adrian Caparza.
I don't know who Adrian Caparza is.
That's
oh my god, it's Jocelyn Bittenbender. What's up with you, Jocelyn? You are some kind of legend tonight.
She's on it.
Vin Diesel's character. Jocelyn.
Vin Diesel, that's him, yeah.
Vin Diesel's character.
Is Vin Diesel in Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah, he gets shot. He's in the rain. His body is on the, and they're all like
with the mud.
He falls on the piano.
Oh shit.
He gets shot and he falls on the piano and he falls over and he's like, "I'm okay, I can walk." Yeah. He's like, "Give this letter to my father." That dude, the
letter to my dad. That's Vin fucking.
And then they asked the sniper guy who's played by that brilliant actor. He was in 25th Hour as well. I never saw him again. And he's like, "That's where I'd be if I'd be
in the bell tower."
In the bell tower, that's where I'd be. And that shot where the dude is like looking around, and next thing he catches him, and you see a flash, and he gets it through the eye.
Yep, and that's Alexei Tartarev. The guy that plays the sniper was actually a UFC fighter. He was a Russian UFC fighter.
Oh wow.
Alexei Tartarev.
I'm looking up the cast of Saving Private Ryan. Look who's in: Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, Tom Sizemore, Vin Diesel, Ed Burns, Barry fucking Pepper, Jeremy Davis, Adam Goldberg, who I don't like, but he's very good. Giovanni Ribisi.
Ted Danson is in it.
Ted Danson is in it. Paul Giamatti's got the tiniest role ever.
Yeah. And Paul Giamatti leans back on the thing.
And Paul Giamatti.
Who beat Giamatti this year at the Oscars, by the way? Who beat Giamatti?
Because Giamatti was up for the
holdovers,
right? Holdovers.
He was so good in that.
I haven't seen an Alexander Payne movie, and I'm a big Alexander Payne fan.
Oh, you haven't seen Holdovers?
I haven't.
Shane,
that is
are.
I'm sure it's going to be great. I love Alexander.
I'm not going to say anything about it other than It's so up your street.
Yeah. I'm gonna love. I know I'll love it.
It's beautifully done.
Who got Best Actor this year? I don't even fucking know.
Who got Best Actor? You guys all know.
They
Is
know.
The Rock in it?
Jocelyn.
Ken Tagle says The Rock is in. Is The Rock in it?
In what?
In Saving Private Ryan?
No. The Rock?
No. The Rock is not. But that is, if you think about that cast, good Lord, that is
I'm just
powerhouse.
So here else, ready for this? Adam Goldberg, Giovanni Ribisi, Nathan Fillion, Bryan Cranston, Paul Giamatti, Ted Danson,
Bryan Cranston,
Andrew Scott is in
Yeah.
fucking Andrew Scott, who's the actor du jour right now.
Yeah. Now, do you remember when Bryan Cranston was in that movie? Do you remember his role?
Yes,
you do.
Yeah, it's the very.
Isn't it funny what happens with these actors? Is it's a golden ticket, you know, when a Kubrick or a Spielberg gives you that call. Now you have that on your resume.
Yeah.
And next thing, you're called for so many movies because it's just like, oh, well, he was in that. Don't you remember? He had 3 lines in that little movie, a little, you know, massive movie. He had a small role and boom.
But
then
God,
doors just start opening. It happened a lot with Woody Allen.
And look at Liam Neeson.
Right. Liam Neeson.
Oh, I mean, Oscar Schindler.
He didn't win. He should have won.
He's never been an Oscar level actor.
No.
He was.
I like him. I like him. I do like him.
I could have saved.
You know what the Irish don't like? Irish actors. Because you hate Colin Farrell too. You're not a fan of him as well.
I hate Colin Farrell.
You don't like
see him
though.
acting. I see him acting.
I
But
thought, I thought you were going to say, you know what the Irish don't like? Jews.
There you go. There's the soundbite for all the haters.
Paul Thorpe, could you see what I'm doing?
From
I'm
a
closing
Russian
my ears.
Israeli.
Yes.
Russian Israeli.
It was a joke.
They just don't have the sense of humor, man.
A joke, by the way. I'm going to preface this with a joke because you're already fucking creating libel all over the internet. So the funny thing is, Martin Short tells Jerry Seinfeld a joke on comedians in cars getting coffee. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Should I not say this?
I know this.
I don't know this joke.
Okay,
Come
it's
on.
funny.
It's eye bashers. Come
It's
on.
funny. It's funny, guys. Don't take it seriously. It's funny. He goes, so, right. My father was on the golf course and he was in his scrone, right? And he met this guy. His name was Barry. He's like, hello, Barry. Have you ever met Barry's wife, right? She's half Irish and half Jewish. And do you know what we call that in Ireland? We call it a Jew.
See you in a month, Paul Thorpe. While you
see you in a month.
While you clip that to fuck.
We're giving them great content.
That's just an essay on ignorance, kids. That's all that is.
Well, you know, the way to sell that too is you'd said it in a funny voice, so no one can contextually say it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You said it in a comical voice, so that's your get out of jail free.
And seeing as we're doing that, I'll just put.
And it's Martin Short, who
first.
might be one of the funniest. I don't like any of Martin Short's skits at all.
Oh,
I don't like. I like him when he's interviewed. He's so fucking funny. But when you see him in his kind of like skit stuff, I find it very tried. But when you interview him, like him and Jerry Seinfeld together, because Jerry Seinfeld is one of the most observant, funny people in the world. He sees every detail. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Easy, who's one of the best bashers in the entire universe.
Spielberg film ever.
Do you know who? By the way, when I was talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson, he ranked Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He gave it an F.
Really?
You didn't like it?
No.
I thought that film was amazing.
I think it's one of my the greatest Spielberg film ever made is Schindler's List. I'm sorry.
No, not to me.
No, it is. It's a master. That's the work of an auteur. Holy fuck. Janusz Kaminski. By the way, that's Janusz Kaminski's first film with Spielberg.
I mean, that's a tough one, man, because if you think about dialogue, I have to agree.
It's amazing.
It's a dialogue.
I know that you're not human in the sense of the word.
God, Ray Fiennes is amazing in that.
Fuck
He was
fuck me.
He was distracting.
The most Amon Goth.
Amen Goff when he's shooting prisoners off the balcony and he ejects the round into the bed. You're a fucking
yeah. I mean,
animal.
look, it's an amazing film.
You're a fucking animal.
Yeah, that is the craziest.
I don't
thing
know
ever.
that that's being the best of his films, though.
Okay, so you know what, Oisin, you know what my favorite Spielberg film is, other than Schindler's List. You know what it is, right? You know, come on, kiddo.
Jaws.
25 fucking years. No. I'm one of the very few people in the world who love this movie more than life itself.
Really? A Spielberg movie? Is it?
Why am I not thinking of it?
Can you give us a hint?
AI.
Oh, AI. I forgot that he made that.
Run, Teddy, run! Oh
Yeah.
my God. That scene with a mother's love. It's fucking brutal.
Yeah, AI is amazing.
It's amazing.
I would say Jaws is one of the greatest films ever made in the history of the planet. I love Close Encounters.
Me too.
And what was the third one that came to mind that I just shit. Oh well, listen, E.T. E.T. Guys, E.T.
You're going with the science fiction side of Spielberg.
Yeah, I guess I am. Yeah.
He's got such a
maybe Saving Private Ryan.
Maybe
How
Saving
about
Private
the
Ryan.
color
For
purple?
that first scene, that first 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan is really that changed cinema, I think.
Yeah, that was one of those. Yeah,
Kent,
that was really
that's
the
George
first
Lucas.
brutal
And that's
combat
Shane's
scenes.
favorite.
1984 THX. That's two different.
Well, it's
things.
correctly
THX was made in 1969 by Zoetrope.
Mm-hmm.
Zoetrope Productions.
Wait a second. Isn't THX the original one? Isn't that George Lucas's student film?
He made it as a student, and then
But did Zoetrope produce? Did they produce it?
Zoetrope produced it. You know what the budget was? $770,000. $770,777. That was it. Was just a bizarre negotiation that Coppola made for the production of that movie. It's fucking life changing.
Easy corrected. It's THX 1138. There's two versions of that. There's the student film, and then there's of course the cinema.
Well, there's three. There's three.
Are there three?
There's the student version, which was a 10-minute, 15-minute thing that Coppola discovered Lucas from. Then they made the movie. Then it was re-released many, many years later.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that good?
No, because tinkering around. George Lucas can't fucking leave his classics alone.
No, he can't.
So, but it has Donald Pleasance in it. One of the greatest.
I've seen it 800 times.
And it's kind of a life-changing movie. That movie. The end of that movie is maybe the greatest end of any movie.
It's pretty incredible. JBB says, I believe Stanley Kubrick. Yes, he did. All the storyboards for that film were done. It was Kubrick's film. And he said near his deathbed, Steven, please finish my movie. So when critics went after him and said it was too Spielbergian, he goes, well, that's interesting because it was completely storied out by Stanley Kubrick. So.
And the list for activating the love of the child was written by Kubrick, right?
God, it was like this whole list of like words you have to say out loud before this automaton.
Child. When I watched that movie, I knew that wasn't Spielberg who came up with that list of things.
No way.
Can you Google that list? Is there a list of those things?
Yeah.
Because I went, there's no way. I love Spielberg, but there's no way he came up with that. And it wasn't him. It was Kubrick. Because you need a fucking crazy mind like Kubrick to come up with that
list. You can always tell that direction change.
Yeah. There's like a list, like an activation
just
code.
To read it to him.
Yeah.
AI movie. I used to know this by heart, but maybe
there's like a wild list of like 10 things she has to say to activate the robot so it becomes emotionally attached to you. And that's some of the darkest shit I've ever seen because Kubrick.
And then it's irreversible.
Right.
The future of AI.
Hey, listen, I was watching Arthur C. Clarke, a clip from Arthur C. Clarke from 1957 or something the other day. And he was talking about artificial intelligence and that how it will take over. He was like, right now, computers are complete idiots, but they won't be forever. I mean, this is in black and white, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, and maybe they'll destroy their creator, but why should we be sad about that? Isn't it a good thing that maybe we created this? We're imperfect humans. Maybe we'll create this superior creature that will take over and perfect humanity on the earth. I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy hadn't even seen Star Wars or anything, like nothing. And he foresaw that idea. I was like, oh my God.
There was another really dark thesis about artificial intelligence. And it wasn't that artificial intelligence will be particularly hostile towards people,
right?
But that it will be indifferent, the way that we are indifferent to the lives of ants.
Yes.
Oh,
and that's a scarier possibility, that essentially artificial intelligence will begin to develop a world around us and will essentially push us out.
Maybe. So I read a lot of Nick Bostrom, right? So Nick Bostrom came up with this idea about 15 years ago that AI may not necessarily see us as a threat at all, unless AI becomes obsessed with something that we're in the way of. And he made the example of paper clips. He said, let's say for some reason this computer mind becomes obsessed with creating paper clips, and sees us at a certain point as being an obstacle to creating paper clips. Then it will get rid of us, not because it thinks we're bad or good, or it's just because it can't make more paper clips with us in the way.
The focus of the being.
Focus of the thing. Bostrom, man, you got to read Bostrom. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that conversation. I don't know if somebody quoted it in a podcast or something, but I've heard that conversation before. That's the biggest problem, is that we will be standing in the way of the self-replicating,
and it could be something arbitrary. It could be something stupid and ridiculous.
Yeah, it could be energy sourcing, or they will see us as an impediment to their energy source.
Yeah.
And they will start redirecting electricity, redirecting natural resources that we're using. Yeah.
And what Arthur C. Clarke was saying is, what's wrong with that? Don't we want the next generation to be smarter and better than us? So what's wrong with that? And that's to say that in 1956 or 58. That takes a special mind.
Yeah, it's prolific in a very terrifying way.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to find anything involving the words AI specifically to that movie, because AI is now so prevalent in our vernacular?
Oh shit, yeah.
I am like trying so desperately to find that scene.
So look up the script. AI.
I did. I've looked up the script.
Oh,
there you go. It's already happening.
What?
Holy crap.
It's already happening. The AI is interfering with a task.
Hey, if anybody in the chats, because I'm tired of looking this up, it's because AI has become, back in the day, everybody's like, what the fuck is AI? I don't know what that means.
AI movie Spielberg quotes. Try that for a search.
What is it?
AI movie
Spielberg
quotes list.
AI movie.
You can see how much I distrust Dirk's search skills.
AI, comma, Spielberg movie, comma.
I got it, comma, dot quotes.
Dot quotes.
Gigolo Joe.
List.
List, okay.
It's a scary list, though, I have to say. Fuck me.
It is.
It's very Kubrick as well, because it's so abstract.
It's so it's so Stanley.
Oh, Emmett said my favorite line. Emmett's in the audience. Emmett said my favorite line. You'll break.
That's the best line in the whole movie.
Teddy
goes, stop. You'll break. Because he's eating spinach.
Oh,
he goes,
God.
Stop. You'll break. That is the best line in the whole
He's right.
movie.
Emmett is right. That is the best line. That's so hard.
It's the best line in the movie. When he says that to him, because he wants to be like, because the actual biological kid comes back from his coma and he hates him and he wants to get rid of him.
Right.
Oh, God.
It's such a tragedy.
Stop.
Can I say something though? I mean, I love Spielberg's version, but I wish I saw the Kubrick version.
Yeah.
I wish Kubrick lived to make the film.
It might not have been great. Who knows? We'll never.
It might have been. It might have been darker.
We don't know. I love
might
AI.
have might have been even more dark.
Yeah, it might have been.
I'm guessing
man, that movie's dark.
The maker of Clockwork Orange. Yes, I think it may have been.
That's a film I have never seen.
Oh, that's like a fever.
You've never seen Clockwork Orange?
No.
Clockwork Orange is
every
like
Kubrick movie ever
I know,
made.
but no, it's 2001's the best Kubrick.
I feel like Clockwork Orange was something he had he had a fever and then he fell asleep and he had dreams, and those were some of the images that he saw, and it caused him to make that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Emmett said that Kubrick's version was going to be 3 scenes. I've no doubt.
That's true.
And probably 3 very different scenes. With
technically, that movie is 3 scenes.
Is it?
Technically, it is. It's the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's the running away, and then the fun fair. And it is only 3 scenes, technically, because I think that Spielberg said that, because he laughs about stuff. He goes, people want to make fun of me and say you this is the worst scene in the movie. He goes, and that's a Stanley scene. He goes, then they like the other one, and he goes, that's my scene, because I followed Stanley's storyboards to the letter, because that's what he asked of me.
Listen, Stanley was disliked. Every film he ever made was disliked by many and misunderstood. It took fucking decades for people to figure out his movies. There's a lot of, Eyes Wide Shut. You don't even like Eyes Wide Shut, do you, Dirk?
Me? It's one of my favorite movies, and
How did I miss that?
know that. We talk about it incessantly, you maniac.
Who was it who said that?
I love Eyes Wide Shut. Dude, that's my number 2. That's my number 2 Kubrick movie. Number 1 being 2001.
I'm clearly not.
And I just recently got to finally rewatch Barry Lyndon, and I've changed my whole opinion on that, because the whole fucking thing is lit by candles. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, Barry Lyndon is like a revolutionary.
It's great. I think the best Stanley Kubrick movie. I've never seen A Clockwork Orange, because it just looks a little too violent to me, and
it's pretty violent.
Yeah,
it's not as violent as many films, but it's got that. It's like The Shining. It's like it's got strange, almost slapstick horror. You know, it's kind of strange horror. He does a weird.
That's a good way to put it.
This is how smart the Bastards are. Ready? Eddie says the Aaron Papers by Kubrick that was the film that Stanley was about to make when Spielberg released Schindler's List, and then he canceled the film because he said, I can't touch that.
The Aryan Paper?
Yeah.
Aryan Paper?
Yeah, the Aryan Paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually just saw another one, a dark one about the Holocaust, The Zone of Interest.
Oh, I want to see that so bad.
It's on Prime Video right now.
Is it?
It's
tonight, kiddos.
Yeah, it's from the perspective of
the Nazi families.
Of the Nazi families.
Like playing ball and enjoying meals.
So the director, this is like something we could have spoken about tonight on Who Needs a Drink. The director of that film won awards, and he got up and made a speech, and they fucking quoted the shit out of him because they were like they couldn't stand what he was saying. He was saying we refute our Jewishness being used as a cover for a genocide, blah blah blah. But they stopped it as we refute our Jewishness, full stop.
Yeah, and they played him off.
They fucking devoured him. Meanwhile, he made an amazing breakthrough fucking Holocaust story. But as I said on our show earlier tonight, I'm like, I love these are amazing Holocaust stories, but there's a side of me saying, please stop making them, because you're feeding into that fucking paranoia that's creating a fucking genocide. You know, not to get heavy, but it's like, do we need more stories about how terrible it was? Because right now there's a lot of people who are just, that's all they can think about, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, nobody hates you anymore. Okay, so fucking shut up about it.
And I kind of feel like when I was a kid, I remember when we watched Schindler's List in school, and I was like internally cringing, because I feel like that must be the same sensation that a black kid feels when they're showing Roots.
Right.
And you're just like, oh God, is this all there is to my ethnicity? That this is how we're defined, that this is where we're, how we're viewed.
I hate to say it, but Mahmoud Ahmadinejad phrased it the best, in my opinion. I hate to quote the man, but he said it turned into a culture of persecution. And that was the smartest thing I ever heard the man say.
He also said we don't have gays in Iran.
Because he has
because
to.
they're dead.
Yeah. And that got a laugh.
It got a huge laugh in Columbia University with Bulger. Remember, Bulger was running that university. I remember.
Right.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Exactly. That's the way I felt about that. I was
you guys ready? I got it.
You got the list?
I got it even better.
Oh, you got the clip. Can we play it without getting... Okay.
David's going to love it.
As soon as the show was over,
Can you skip to the part, the
Yes.
actual part, as soon as possible? Because I don't want to get shut down.
I thought it happened already.
No, we're way after.
It's in the closet.
No, this is not. It's the wrong clip.
Shit.
It's okay, man.
Fuck, I thought I had it.
This,
it says Monica recites.
She activates the robot before that child wakes up from his coma. We just saw the child wake.
It's before the child.
So it's before then.
Another great child actor there. He was great in Sixth Sense too.
He was so great in so many things. And then he got old, and then he wound up in the Entourage movie, which was atrocious.
John, are you how are you doing with your wine?
It's all gone, actually.
It's all you killed a bottle already, bro.
No, there was about 3/4 of a bottle.
Okay.
But I have a little bit left. I have a little bit left in the glass.
Okay, we'll do 10 more minutes.
This is good decompression.
Oh yeah, listen, was it decent?
My wife is yelling at me too. Hey, are you going to eat?
Yeah. Was it decent tonight? Did you have a good discussion on who needs a drink? Did you enjoy it?
Oh man, I loved it. I loved it. I said, I always appreciate having the opportunity to talk about some of this stuff and in a more or less productive manner. So I thought it was fantastic. And like I said, as I get older, I tend to acknowledge my own biases and my own callousness and my own cynicism, where and that's what I was trying to convey to Blakely is, my worldview is my worldview, and it's not necessarily wrong or right. It's just my worldview. And on a lot of these things, I do recognize the shortcomings of that worldview, and I want to see other people. That's to me, that's plurality. It's not that I want the world, in my image. It's the plurality of all these opinions to exist. And I understand that sometimes mean that these opinions and ideas come into conflict. And sometimes the bigger move is to actually say, you know what, maybe I'm wrong, or maybe there is a better way to do this. So I admire people's, drive to be passionate about these things and to cause, because that's really what's going to make any change or progress, whether it's, good or bad in the eyes of, the rest of the group. That's the inevitable, that's the inevitable state of the human species, is we constantly have to evolve and change. And sometimes we have to go forward and backwards a little bit, but, or laterally. But yeah, it was a great conversation. And like I said, I always appreciate, the ability to come on and vent, because a lot of this stuff, I don't get into my job too much because, I can't, but it's a good way to have these conversations with the public where I'm not, getting into things I shouldn't talk about. So yeah, it's fantastic, man.
Angelo Minichello already gave us the list.
Oh, he did. I just found the clip. Why did you give me the list, Andrew?
Like 10 minutes ago.
Because I was looking. Oh, there it is. Sirius, Socrates, Particle, Decibel, Hurricane, Dolphin, Tulip. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, like a dope, because I'm not looking at the chats, Angelo. Thank you so much.
And Thank you, Angelo. And Angelo sent a super chat, even letting us know.
Even letting us know. What a legend. He deserves. Can you give him something?
Yeah, I'm going to give him something. Hold on. Ready?
Socrates. Particle. Decibel. hurricane, dolphin, tulip, Monica, David, Monica.
Fucking this kid's amazing.
Yeah, amazing actor.
Yeah. All right, that's enough because we'll get shut down.
Yeah.
Angela, so
Perfect.
you sent me a super chat. Where's the super chat for that?
It's down here. Let me grab it.
Grab it. Oh, there you go, Angela.
I sent you the answer earlier in the chat. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Angela.
Look at the crowd we've got. Fucking amazing.
Yeah, your audience is really, like I said,
they're the smartest people in the room, dude.
They give me hope because I see the audience for the watch world and the Rolex crowd specifically in some cases, and I get a little discouraged by what I see on YouTube and public spaces and Instagram, and then I come to places like this or your channel, Oshin, and I get reinvigorated with hope that there are some well-informed and very very sophisticated people that are in this community, and it really does give me hope.
For sure. Thank you. Thanks for saying that.
Let's give you a gong. Thank you, Angela, for that. And the next one, Oshin?
Easy.
Easy. Best Western directors. Oh God, Jesus. Oh, it's got to be
John Ford.
Or John Ford, hands down. Has to be
John Ford.
Has to be. Howard Hawks is close second, but Jesus, it's got to be. Yeah. I mean, is there any other? Really? Which one do you want, Easy? Because you're, how about this one? See how hairy
you drive me to drink. That's you drive me to drink. That's not
poor Alec. Poor Alec. He will forever be remembered for that. Speaking of westerns, that
do you want to know? Those tragic big tits and the. Oh yeah, I know it's over. I know. What a shame. He's so finished.
I think they convicted the.
They did the armorer.
Yeah, the armorer.
She was convicted. Yeah. Well, she was also selling coke on the set.
And I heard that she got the job through her father.
She did. Her father was one of the legendary armorers of the world.
Yeah.
So because he's the producer, he was involved in some way or obligated
because he's the producer of the movie.
Yeah, because he's now considered like, well, you hired her. You're the producer.
Yeah, so therefore there's culpability, even though it's
and even if he's not criminally liable, they may sue him civilly, and then his
totally. Well, the criminal case is back on.
Oh, against him?
Yes, they reinstated.
Yeah, and he got it
case against him.
And the worst part about that is that New Mexico is one of the worst jurisdictions for the defendant. They are so aggressive. So the thing about polygraph, they always say polygraphs are inadmissible in court. Yeah. New Mexico is one of the only states where they are.
Oh, that's great.
That's how aggressive New Mexico is.
I think that's cool though, because
how many polygraphs have you done, John?
Oh God, thousands. At this
what do you think the accuracy is on something like that?
So a lot. There's three components. There's the app. The person you're testing, whether it's the applicant, then you as the examiner, and then obviously the quality of the data. But it's definitely a good tool for interrogation. It's a great determining factor. I always tell people it's kind of like a metal detector. A metal detector doesn't discern the difference between car keys, knives, and guns. It just tells you that there's metal. Right. And so the polygraph's very similar in that way, where it'll tell you where there's a problem with a question because that person is having that physiological reaction to that question. But you as the interrogator have to figure out why. And so, where they say it's part science, part art, that's really what it is. You have to have, the ability to talk to people, get them comfortable, and get them to, figure out if it's an irrelevant issue or actually a relevant issue. So
basically you're saying types. A sociopath can beat that easily.
So no, there's actually been studies on this. The thing about polygraph is it's not about the absence of apathy. And that's what sociopaths have
Don't
is
have,
the
they don't have it.
yeah, they lack apathy. The polygraph the polygraph is based on what they call fear of detection. And so there's a certain physiological reaction that happens to people when they lie, especially in the setting of a polygraph exam. And so the closest analogy is like, let's say you reach into your pocket and where your keys or wallet should be, they're not there. And you start doing that feeling around and you go, oh shit, where is my wallet? You have a physiological response to that. Your cardiovascular blood volume increases, your heart rate goes up, your hands produce additional sweat. That's what they call the autonomic nervous system. And that is a very similar reaction that people have to lying, because again, you think about a situation, and again, this isn't a white lie or something small. Think about a setting where maybe you were confronted by a girlfriend about a text message that you sent, or a girl that you were seeing on the side, and she flat out asks you, are you cheating on me? And you say no. You have a very similar oh shit response physiologically. Now, you may be very cool, calm, and collected on the outside, and you may be trying to pass that off as a genuine statement, but your physiology is going 1,000 miles a minute. And that's what the polygraph is looking at. So when you have the pre-interview, you ask those questions and you get that person in that psychological set. And now you put them in that polygraph chair and you're asking those same questions. And they know that that physiology is being monitored. So that's what it's, that fear of detection. That's the thing that it works off of. And it's fairly, again, when accurately done, when well done, when a professional examiner is on the other end, it's scary how accurate it can be. You know, to the point where I've had exams where the person is literally failing one specific question. And after the admission or confession, I ask them, which question do you feel you were struggling with? And they tell me the question that they actually failed based on the charts. So it's scary how accurate it can be. But you know, again, everything is, that's why most of it is, you know, not admissible in court, because it's based off kind of a vague, you know, scientific principle that there's other factors that can be in play there. So it's a lot of art, but there's definitely a solid science behind it. But, you know, I wouldn't advise, you know, people to rely on them heavily. And when people say, you know, polygraphs are not admissible in court, I say, yeah, thank God. Because if this was the case, we would pull people off the street, give them a polygraph. If they failed,
boom,
hey, go to jail. So it's not a one-all, but it's a great it's a great tool for.
Put a thumbtack in your shoe. That's what I was about to say. Like, do you sit on your hands?
Yeah.
That actually does not work. So one of the things we do is we actually get training on what they call countermeasures, and that's an example of countermeasures. But the problem with countermeasures is the responses are so dramatic that they're obvious. They jump out at you. So
countermeasures.
Yeah, you see that and you're just Red October.
I just thought of Red
Let them
October.
sing.
Sorry. Launch
Let them sing.
countermeasures. Yeah. Let them sing.
Yeah. So those things actually don't work, and we try to do that stuff on each other because that's part of our training. And the hard thing is to turn it off, you know, and yeah, that stuff doesn't work. I know people, they've tried different things, and that stuff's on the internet, you know, do this, do that to try to beat the test, and it never really works.
I should do a Who Needs a Drink on this exact subject and pick your brain about this stuff, because this is like amazing shit.
Yeah, but the interrogation and interview thing, that's what most of the polygraph school is. It's a 14-week course. All the federal agencies go to the same place. And all the agencies are there, but it's mostly about, you know, interrogation and rapport building and how to talk to people and how to, you know, basically, because what you really want is the admission. You know, a failed polygraph with no admission is not a good test. You know, it's you want the information ahead of time before they take the test. And what they call the Cadillac of polygraphs is when somebody gives you the admission and then passes the test, which means that there's nothing else to talk about. So yeah, it's a very esoteric skill, but it's been an interesting career for sure. I've only been doing it for about 6 years. So the majority of my career was not actually doing that. I was doing a lot of other things before.
Damn.
Not to totally change the
Prostitution.
subject.
That's chilling shit to hear. Let's wrap it up, guys, because
Yeah, it's
I'm going to
9
go make
o'clock.
a steak.
Yeah, it's
So,
almost that time. Dinner time.
We've got
guys.
Andrew, Dean, Al Benedetti, Dean, Angela Minichello. Big unboxing on Sunday for both Dean and Angela Minichello on Dirk Sunday Mass. It's going to be unboxing Sunday. Easy E, $20. Midas, Luke, Tom Rogers, Easy E, Daniel Gutierrez, JC Kingsley. JC Kingsley, again, you're on fire tonight. Thank you again, Luke. Alpha Foxtrot, welcome to the show. It's great to see you, Eddie. You've been a ray of sunshine tonight. Thank you so much. Daniel, always a pleasure. Eddie. Angelo, Easy E again. Thank you all so very, very much for being a part of the chats. What a thrill. Thank you so much, John, special guest, surprise guest. Came
Thank
over
you
from
both.
Who Needs a Drink. Thanks for coming in, bringing your expertise and kind of fun surveillance-y, secretive, super spy stuff. It's like
The deep
people
state.
don't ever get deep state shit. We love it. So much fun. Thank you so much. Machine O'Malley, I'll see you next week, and I'll probably talk to you later, obviously, because we talk like little girls. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the Bashers. It's the end of the week. I'll be back on Sunday with iBashers Sunday Mass. On Monday with Watch Fashion Please with Asheen O'Malley, Michaela de Chatillon, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, of course, regular Dirk weekdays. So remember, at the end of the day, guys, just hold the door open, say please and thank you. And remember, when you're dealing with somebody who might be a little bit irate, they might be having a really bad day. It just could be that time of the month. Any of that stuff can affect your perception of somebody else's behavior. Unless, of course, you find out that they're a total